What's up, Firesiders? Welcome back to another episode 15 this week, I do believe. Stop laughing at me. Glad to be back with you all. As always, I've got my man Vinno. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man, I'm good. I've got scotches with me, chilling out by the fireside.
That's the go. Coming at you from an undisclosed place and time on this fine evening. And of course, we've got everybody's favourite Irishman with us, the big Daver. How you going, brother?
I'm doing great, mate. Yourself?
I am fan-bloody-tastic, mate. Fan-bloody-tastic.
Yeah.
So, another week, boys. What do we got in store tonight? What's the plan?
Actually, first question before we get into any of that. How are you going with your turntables? Reese, during the week, has been talking a fair bit about getting some turntables and learning how to do some scratching and DJing. So they showed up this week. Was it this week?
What day is it? Never mind. I don't know. It's undisclosed. I think it was actually last week. End of last week, maybe. Yep. Yeah. Man, it is taking up so much of my time, and I'm loving it. Man, like I just get, it was definitely last week, but man, I think it was on Tuesday, dude. I was like, yeah, I might spin some records for a bit, and dude, like 4.5 hours like that.
Nice, man.
So much fun, man. I'm fucking loving it. I got
having fun.
Yeah, I got some me vinyl controllers for Serato today, so I've been using Record Box because that's the ones I got. But from what I've sort of researched, the Serato's better for the vinyl control than what Record Box is. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it all out, man. It's pretty wild, but super fucking fun, man. I'm loving it. It's good to have some musical shit to do at home, dude. Like, it's so good, eh?
Well, you haven't really had anything since TBF, haven't you? Like, it's...
Yeah, man, pretty much. Like, I've got the old acoustic back there, but I just sort of started learning that for a bit, but I've been really slack with that too, so... Yeah, man. I don't know. Turntables is just fun as fuck.
You can do us up a new intro song too. So
eventually, yeah, I've got a lot of a lot of learning going on in this room here.
Fuck yeah!
But yeah, no, it's been good, man. It's been a fun hobby so far. So there's a record shop in Newey. It's got their first birthday this weekend. They've got they're doing a prize thing if you spend money in store this weekend to go into a draw to win $500 worth of free vinyl. So
it'd be rude if you didn't show. Yeah, man.
Mate, I'll be in there tomorrow. Give you the hot tip. It's gonna be fucking sick.
Fuck yeah.
But I mean, gonna mix it up a little bit this week and do a bit of a Q&A and get to know your friendly neighbourhood firesider. I feel it's going to be.
This has been a bit of a request, though, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. So
call him out.
Yeah, good mate of ours, old Jakey boy. Me and him have been mates for a long time. We've worked together and we know pretty much everything about each other. But he was sort of saying that he doesn't really know you two guys and he would like to get to know you guys. And I'm sure there's probably people in similar situations knowing you, Dave, and knowing you, Vinno, who don't know me or, you know. So I thought, you know, maybe we could do a little bit of a get to know us and kind of I want to start it out with, you know, like the generic who you are, where you grew up, your basic interests, stuff like that. But then I thought...
Are you a helmet or a boonie? Those sorts of things.
Yeah, then maybe we could turn it up a little bit as
Only the important stuff.
As we get further into the episode and further into the tins, we could get into some more interesting questions. And yeah, I think it's going to be super fun. So
as I said,
this afternoon, truth or dare style, yeah. But truth, all right, by the end, let's see who taps out. And
actually, I will say that Vinno, Jake did say that you're a fucking cat for bailing out of the Hot Ones competition when we do have our first episode together.
Well, listen, for a man that can't play Warzone properly, I don't think his opinion matters. So.
That's gone worse. It's fucking personal now, mate.
It is.
He only made fun of your little baby taste buds. That's all he did.
There is a story behind me not wanting to touch hot food, but yeah, that might be a question.
No.
I'll wait for the question.
No. Challenge. It's a challenge.
This is a get to know us episode, mate. So please tell us why.
Nah, man. All right. My old man.
Oh shit!
My old man loves his hot food, loves his chilies and stuff like that. And he was growing some chilies at home when we were younger. And as you guys know, but other people might not, I've got 3 brothers, right? So there was the 4 of us. School holidays was just a fucking, it was full on because it was just 4 boys cooped up at home, 30 Ks plus out of town. You make your own fun, right? And we had a fantastic childhood, don't get me wrong, but some of the dumb shit we used to do was, try and see who could eat as many chilies as they could. And man,
I like where this is going.
Okay, so an example of this, to give you just an idea of how dumb this shit used to get. When one of my brothers was living in WA, we all went over there to meet up with him. And hadn't seen each other in, I think, 2 years. And we thought it was fun to take it in turns. Well, they did. I didn't do this one either. I copped it on the leg, but get pepper sprayed. Right? And I've got a video of this, of our youngest brother getting pepper sprayed. And it is the funniest shit. I could just keep watching it.
Isn't he standing there like...
The guy's visibly, the guy's in pain, and we're all just standing around laughing. Like, that's the sort of shit.
Well,
serious shit.
That's what brothers are for.
Mate, it's good. So, the chili incident was, having a competition to see who could eat most chilies and keep them in the mouth. And fuck, man, that did me. I was throwing up. And
this kind of reminds me of time. Remember that night out at my dad's place when we were all having a barbecue and we had the chilies out there and I ate the chili, the whole thing. And I was just like uncontrollably sweating and drooling over the sink.
Yeah.
Dude, that was
shoveling yogurt into my mouth and just couldn't stop. And I do believe, I can't remember if it was you or as Dave decided it'd be a really good idea to fucking sack whack me. Whilst I was,
we had a run of that.
I think it was you. There was some big...
Sounds like a Vinno thing to do.
Definitely does.
It restarted it.
Nah, I don't believe that for a second.
To put it into context for people listening, we used to have band practice at Reese's place, and it wasn't just like 2 hours of practice. There were whole weekend things like where we'd just be out there partying, and we got up to some dumb shit there too. But it was pretty similar to that, man. But I was throwing up. Like, it was, some of the chilies were fucking hot.
Time.
So
it's
from
time,
that,
Vinno.
Sorry,
it's time. Time you face the fear.
It's time. It is.
Look, I've had a couple of chilies since, but it's not so much the heat. I'm the same with cherry.
Butthole the next day.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, the real challenge. The real challenge.
It's the taste of chilies, man, of raw chilies that just makes me feel fucking sick.
That's the bonus about hot ones is because it's hot sauce flavored wings, bro. It's a win.
Yeah.
I had wings tonight for dinner and it was fucking delicious.
Look, you can probably talk me into it, and I'll make Jake a deal. All right, if he gets good at Warzone, I'll do the chili challenge.
Well, he's already pretty good, man. He fucking shits all over me, so
he's not good enough, but you know,
he carries me all the time, bro. Shout out to him and Tariq, man. You guys carry me fucking hard out. But
just look,
I actually I've been collecting hot sauces recently. I got another few good ones this week. I actually got a Reaper sauce as well this week, so. But I will, when we do this, I think you were right, Dave. We definitely need to buy the hot ones pack. So
I get them.
The final dab and shit. Yeah.
Oh,
I probably have them here. Like,
do
but
you
we
really?
get a fresh one. We get a fresh one. Yeah, man. Me and my missus, we go through them. So we watch the shows as well, but we pick them. And there's Los Calientes.
I love that Los Calientes.
Yeah, man. That one and the garlic reaper one. That there's a heap. It's just so beautiful. Like, man, they're all different levels of Vinno. So you might get up to 3 or 4. You know, and we can even do Tabasco if we want it, like Tabasco,
sauce isn't.
Like Sriracha and shit's not.
You build up. Yeah, it's not. It's flavour.
We need to get. If we're gonna do it, I'll get a bottle of Hicksey's Reaper sauce.
Yeah,
what about the bomb?
Yeah, I was gonna say we've got to get the bomb because that's the one that kills everyone.
Yeah, man.
Do you really?
Yeah, well, and we only kind of use it now because we did it on the day, and obviously it's fucked. And I did a dab on it, and yeah, it's pretty heavy shit. It's literally got an atomic bomb logo on it, and it's called the bomb, and it fucks you. It's like
it's the one that kills everyone in the episodes, man. It's always the bomb that gets them.
Second last or last.
Third from the end. Yeah, it kills everyone, man. It's always the one that gets them.
We got to get their brand, the last one. What's it? The last dab.
The last dab, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet.
Yeah, neither.
But some of them are really nice, Vinno. So you won't get that raw chili taste. I think you'll get a bit of flavor, and then it'll shag you.
Because they're also like sauces with other stuff. Like the Calientes one's got the mango and stuff in it.
Yeah, it's fruity. Yeah. Some of the shit's fruity. Really some of it's vinegary. You know, like they're all different. Like habanero and vinegar goes well together.
Yeah. So if it's mixed, if it's got an array of ingredients with a sauce, yeah, it's going to suck. It'll be hot, but yeah, when it comes to
it's not just eating chilies, man. It's like actual hot flavored sauce, like
but that's what I'm saying. If it was just like a chili sauce with maybe a little bit of vinegar in it, I don't. It's not the heat so much. I feel fucking sick. Like yeah. Same, like I said, same with cherry tomatoes, man. Because we just used to eat the shit out of those. I ate way too many. So.
Yeah, man. I used to eat cherry tomatoes like it was going out of fashion when I was a kid.
Our veggie garden was button squash, zucchinis, fucking cherry tomatoes, and chilies. Man, that was Rowan's veggie garden. It was
respect, Rowan. Respect.
But we got some questions for each other.
We do. But before we start, I want to say one thing. I want to give a shout out to Versus Merch, our good mate Ev. Because I'm not sure if you guys were aware, but today is Oz Music T-shirt day. So I've got me Thyaters Murder shirt on. But they're actually doing a special at the moment for Australian bands to support, up and comers and whatever. So for bands that want to get merch printed, they're actually offering free printing. You only pay for the garments. So I'll put a link in the description for anyone that's looking to get merch printed or whatever. Does an awesome job. Prints mostly on AS Color. I think he's got other stuff too, but good quality stuff, awesome printing, legend of a bloke.
Absolutely.
So I want to give a shout out to him. And, being that all of us has come from the Australian scene in somewhat, he's still out there supporting it through and through. And it's fucking awesome. So shout outs to Ev and all the Versus team.
Absolutely.
Bales and Joe and all the boys. So I'll put a link in the description of the video if you're interested in getting anything printed. Man, there's nothing they don't do. Shirts, jumpers, trackies, hats, beanies, pens, fucking stickers,
W holders, everything.
Yeah, they do everything, man. And it's all good shit. So, and it's Australian, and you'd be supporting a good dude. So, and supporting Australian music as well. So, yeah. But
win-win.
without further ado, let's get to know us Firesiders. So I guess, like I said, we'll start off with a bit of the blasé stuff. Hopefully it's not too boring. So I'll start with you, Mr. Irish, the Dave. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your growing up and who you are.
Well, I think similar to Jesus. I was not born. I was born in Ireland. Oh yeah.
God's country, obviously.
Yeah. And I'm moved here, man. No, just thinking of Ireland as God's country is just hilarious. You don't get. He does treat us a little bit like he did his son. I don't get involved. She'll be right. I don't. But anyway, I emigrated over here in 2003. That's where obviously I met Vinno, and then probably a year or so later met Reese, as I started to get to know people in Australia. And moved around a little bit, went back to Ireland, and then now I'm back again. I was only out there for like 2 years, and I'm a citizen. I'm true motherfucking blue. I got an Aussie wife, now an Aussie kid. Yeah, that's Is that what you were after, Reese? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, mate. Hey, it's all like, I mean, we can start easy, and I'm sure we're obviously going to get into more shit about us, like, as kids growing up, things that we're into and whatever else. So,
Oh yeah. What about you? What about you, Reese? Where are you from? And give us a bit of your background.
I grew up predominantly on the south coast of New South Wales until I was about 14 years old. I think I moved up to Singleton 2000 and it was 2000 actually. It was the end of year 2000. I think I moved up here. I was in year 8 at school. It was a huge change for me because, you know, where I grew up was in Kiama. It's a coastal town. I grew up next to the beach, man.
You come down here surrounded by fucking dust.
Yeah, man. I did little nippers my whole childhood, and I started sailing when I was like 6 years old. My dad sailed. My granddad was in the Navy as a diver, so it's kind of, I think the ocean and stuff has always been in my family. So yeah, to move from somewhere like that to middle of bumfuck mining town Singleton was a pretty huge change for me.
Big sundial though, mate. Have you done that at the coast?
Yeah, I always knew what time it was.
Yeah. Only if you're near it, obviously.
Yeah.
You can see it from anywhere.
Yeah, so it was, you know, going from a coastal town to up here, dry, stinking hot, 40 plus degree summers in the middle of bumfuck with nothing to do. I pretty much hated it at first. But in hindsight, it's been one of the best things to ever happen to me because I've got amazing friends from moving up here that I've been friends with for a long time, you guys, and plenty of others too. So, and all the things that I've done throughout my adult life have been pretty much due to moving up here. So, yeah, in hindsight, it's been probably the best thing that ever happened to me, really. Also reestablished my relationship with my dad as well, which was good. We had our rough times when I was a teenager, but I think a lot of people probably have that with, you know, teenage boys. But yeah, it was good for that too. So yeah, I mean, I finished high school here. I did my trade here. Moved to Newcastle not long after I finished my trade. And essentially, apart from a couple of years here and there around the joint, I've pretty much been in Newcastle ever since, really. So, yeah, it's been a sort of bit of all over the shop, I guess, for me too. But it's, you know, here we are. Now we're doing this, which is fucking awesome.
Fuck yeah, man.
It's actually similar to me. I mean, we both kind of came to, like, I came to Singleton from a city in Europe, you know what I mean? Like, and I came here, and we'd never even been to Australia on a holiday or anything. So I'm thinking, all right, here we go. It's going to be like fucking Home and Away and Neighbours and shit. I was like, that looks all right. But then they just start driving more inland, and I'm like, where are we going? You know, and I was the same as you. I was kind of like, because I'd missed all my friends from Ireland, but ultimately, best decision ever, because everything, look, you know, it spawns from your journey, doesn't it?
That's right.
What about you, Vinno? What is your background, boyo?
My background. So unlike you guys, I was born around the Singleton area. Mum and Dad were living at Bulga at the time, so they originally came from San Susie and Sydney area. Moved
Frenzel,
up here.
Shout out Frenzel.
And yeah, so I was born around Singleton. I think I was about 2 when they moved on the other side out towards Lake St Clair, and that's where I grew up on a farm. So yeah, I got 3 brothers. One older, then there's me, and then 2 younger ones. But you know, we grew up riding horses and mustering cattle and all those sorts of things, and played polo cross for a lot of years. And then it was different, I suppose. I mean, my primary school had 50 kids in it total, and wild, you knew everyone. You know, like my best mate throughout primary school was my neighbour, the property over, so which was Yatesy.
Hey, shout out to Yatesy.
Shout out to Yatesy, man.
Legend, man.
And the Yates boys. So, you know, weekends we were a lot of the time over there mustering cattle, because they managed a beef cattle farm property, which was thousands of acres sort of thing. So we were over there fencing and hanging out and mustering and stuff like that. And I suppose the big eye opener for me was starting high school, because that was the first time I'd been anywhere like at a school with more than 50 kids. You know, it was different.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and I suppose we were always different, because you know, growing up that out there, generations of farming families, so you know, they're into their country music and all those sorts of things. But all us boys,
which you are too, obviously.
all us boys were brought up on, you know, like Dad's old records, and as we've mentioned before in other episodes, you know, with his Deep Purple and pretty much anything, man. Dad's got an awesome record collection, like, and he's got some fantastic albums there. Yeah, it was once I got to high school and started to really broaden my view, I suppose, on music and society. You know, seeing things for the first time and meeting all these new people and awesome people. So
that's like, Vinno, that's kind of like, remember, like we were talking just then about how for us it was like going to Singleton was like, oh, look at us, we're going to the middle of nowhere. But for you, you're like, this is the big smoke.
Yeah, man.
You're like Encino, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was an island, man. You're
like in the ag plot. Yeah. Tackling fucking
well, look,
teaching the teachers.
There was, in my year, there was 3 boys. Right, there was myself, Yatesy, and Caleb Barnett.
Shout out to the best sausages in fucking the Hunter Valley. Barnett sausages, man, back in the day.
Yeah, so but that was
Caleb's lunch.
That was that was my upbringing, you know, and so yeah, hitting the high school was completely different. And then, like we mentioned before, with you bringing Pantera and introducing that to us when we were early on.
Pantera.
Yeah, and Metallica and stuff. So that was all.
That was another thing Jake brought up, is that you need to learn how to pronounce Pantera.
Listen,
Tempura.
Jake's had his input.
Tempura.
I love that Tempura band.
I love that Tempura band.
Oh, man.
Forgot about that until you just said it. Yeah. I wouldn't have even remembered until you said Pantera.
Pantera.
I say Pantera.
Yeah,
I say Pantera. Pantera. I think it's regional. But
it's an accent.
I say Pantera.
Must be a Singleton thing.
Well, you know,
maybe it's because the way I introduced it.
Might have been.
Maybe.
Like, this is Pantera. Welcome to the Pantera.
Listen, if Jake wants to be the gatekeeper on pronunciation, he can come on here for an episode.
I don't mean to be a stickler, but it's pronunciation. I don't mean to, like.
Oh, that's right. You're a smart English writing motherfucker.
Yeah.
If you're gonna say
it's got terrible grammar,
you better pronounce it right. Yeah.
But yeah, so then I did my trade with Reese.
Yeah.
And that was when, we knew each other, I suppose, prior to that a little bit, but that was when we decided, we're going to get into music and play in bands and stuff. So
yeah, that was the point when you fell in love with me. Yeah.
Listen, I think it was the other way around.
That's what it was. That damn smile.
It was my broken smile and my Magna. He wanted me for my car. But
yeah, who wouldn't?
Yeah. It wasn't just him.
Oh, yeah, so many good memories in that car.
Oh man, the roof sagging and the puncture holes in the top of it. Went through about 5 sumps.
The busted horn from Lucas Smith driving from Newcastle to Katara with the horn on.
It copped an absolute flogging. Right? Yeah, it copped a flogging and still ran.
At fucking 3:30 in the morning, I might add. Driving through the projects of Adamstown.
So then, that took me down to Newcastle, lived down there for a bit, and then came back up this way for work. Been around, done some things, and met some fantastic people along the way. We mentioned, one of them before, or a few of them before, but Ev and those guys. So through playing music and yeah, got some fantastic memories from playing in bands and getting around and doing those things. And
Yeah, 100% the best thing that's happened to me in my life. Man, was getting into playing live music and the people that I've met through it, man. No doubt.
Even you know, a few questions I've been asked over the years is since finishing up with the bands, and the thing is, the question is, do you miss it? And my response is no. I miss the people. You know, I miss the hanging out prior to us playing. The playing was fun, and the practice, was a lot of hard work, sort of thing, and very time consuming. But I miss being around the people and seeing people that you hadn't seen for ages. But what brings you together is the shows, and it was a community and it was a scene, and it's it's good if you ever get the opportunity to be in something like that, or it doesn't have to be music, whether it's sports or anything like.
It's funny too, like you mentioned, like getting asked questions about it. One question that I get asked a lot when people found out that I played music or in a band and stuff is like, did you make any money off it?
Yeah.
And it's like, that was never even a thought in my brain, like about earning money. Like if we earned money, it pretty much just went straight back into the band again. Like we never
it's getting new
kept
merch
any of it for ourselves, or it was for printing merch or paying for recording or, anything. Like, it was never about money, but the experiences and the memories that I've got from it will outdo any amount of dollar any day of the week.
Man, even the road trips, getting in a car with a bunch of people and just having a fantastic time, going down the south coast,
last, man.
Or up to Coffs Harbour. I remember, being in the Dodge and cruising up there and just raucous laughter the whole time, and just an awesome experience. So it
was good. But
that's a bit about me.
When it comes to childhood, like I suppose all of us probably played sports, and like I don't know, Dave, did you play many sports when you were a kid? Like I know Ireland's pretty huge on the rugby and stuff. I'm always used to watch rugby and that, but
he had no idea how to fucking throw a football when he came over here.
Man, no, I was like, so maybe it's because I was in Dublin or whatever, but in Ireland, I was in the music scene, the going to gigs and all, even at that age. But to be honest with you, growing up, I was never obsessed with Gaelic football or soccer. I was a Manchester United supporter because you had to be Man U or Liverpool or Arsenal or West Ham. Or I had some Celtic jerseys because you didn't wear fucking Rangers jerseys. So I didn't really get into sports. Like I played Gaelic, I played some street hockey was probably what I liked the most. But that was because we all went through like a Mighty Ducks fad at a certain age. So everyone had rollerblades. Everyone had fucking. But the first time I really got involved and played a whole season of sport was when I moved to Australia and then joined the Greater Branxton Colts, the fucking best, the third division, Division 3 minor major premiers of 2005, under 16s. We didn't fuck around, when we represented the great city of Greater and the great continent of Branxton. And I had 1 year and we won. We won the minor major premiers. The second year we were smoking cigarettes on the bench and all. You know what I mean? And barely showed up to half of it. And then I just started becoming able to go to pubs, which was like.
Yeah.
But
oh man, how many times did we end up back at after pub drinks at your house when you lived in
Macquarie Street?
Yeah.
It was the Impy, the Percy, back to Dave's.
Percy, back to Dave's. Yeah, that's it.
You got kicked out of Percy. That was where you entered, and they would just start filling up. So past 3 o'clock, the Percy was you had to get in there before midnight, right? And then you were in there till about 3. And then after that, we'd all pile fucking back to the shack, and man, the shack.
The shack was good.
Fuck yeah, it was.
It was one of those. We'd all just like. It was one of the first houses that we had, really, wasn't it? In our friend group.
Yeah, it was like a friend that wasn't living with his parents still. Yeah.
So it just turned to shit. Everyone, you'd wake up on fucking Saturday morning or Sunday morning and be like, there's 20 people on my floor. Where are these people? You're like kicking out
one of those people.
Fuck yeah, man.
Poor guys.
I'm pretty sure I slept out the back near that old beat up shed that you had out there, like the garage, a few times. Like,
already had a fucking like a half a fucking vert ramp in there that we we ended up leaving in there after we left, and I think he might have. I don't know if he got it back. But fuck the people used to do doughies in our back garden and all, and it was just pre-drinks and post-drinks. Yeah, a lot of mad times.
Fuck yeah.
But what about you guys with sports? What did you get into?
Man, that's all I did as a kid. I played every sport you could think of. I did fucking little nippers. I sailed. I played football, soccer. I played rugby union. I played tennis. I did little athletics. Fuck, man, I did everything as a kid. I was super active, and I was much the same, man. Like, I even played rugby when I moved up here, and we actually tied premierships in under 16s with Maitland. They didn't even let us go into overtime. They gave us a joint premiership.
Really?
And we were fucking filthy.
Red
man.
Dogs. What? Hey, so I know Singling Greyhounds, but they used to call themselves the Red Dogs.
I played Union, bro. I played Union. I was the Bulls.
Oh shit, you were Singleton Bulls, were you?
Yeah. But we were all filthy about that, man. We're like, we fucking would have rather have lost than fucking take a joint premiership. But
yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
How is that allowed? How is that allowed? It should be it should go to something. It should be a tiebreaker. They got to go to extra time or something. Yeah. Or West Wall's End. There and Raymond Terrace used to hate fucking playing them.
Valentine used to be the pricks too.
Yeah.
And they've always got good footy teams, old Valentine, man.
Poor Morpeth.
Yeah.
Poor Morpeth getting shafted. And Dungog. Oh man, we said, hey, let's go smash Dungog. Poor Dungog rocking up in their purple. And we're like, I
was the same as you, but man, I fucking, as soon as I turned 18, pubs and partying overtook sport for me. And
but did you play stuff like, so we kind of went into playing like team sports and all, but what did you play on your street? Like, I played soccer. Every day was soccer out on a street, you know, up on the pavement in front of our houses. You play a lot of, in Australia, you grow up playing like backyard cricket and stuff, or touch and stuff. What did you use? Oh
man, I remember there was one year when I was younger, I decided it'd be a good idea to put a cricket pitch in my dad's backyard. So I took the mower out and scalped the fuck out of the grass.
Fuck,
trying to cut a cricket pitch in, man. He was filthy, eh?
I don't fucking blame
you know about a dad in his lawn.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, he was so dirty, eh? I just got the mower and did like 3 or 4 strips just down to the ground, just he was dirty.
Oh, fuck.
A cricket pitch. Me and my cousin got on there. Fucking played a bit of cricket, mate. That was the sport I played as a kid too, though.
What did you do, I guess, as as a group sport or whatever?
Oh, early on we played cricket. One of my younger brothers, he got into his soccer and stuff, and Dad coached that for a bit, but I wasn't interested in playing soccer. But I suppose the big sport that we played growing up was polo cross.
So crazy, man.
Man, for a lot of years, we were playing. Once again, every weekend you were camping, going somewhere, playing polo cross. Played against the Irish, Americans, the English.
Wait, the Irish and the Americans, or the Irish Americans?
No, the Irish and the Americans. Yeah,
different breed. Yeah,
they'd come over, and we got an opportunity to play against them, and we did that for a lot of years. So weekends. You'd pack up during the winter and away you'd go. And it got to the point where it was just silly and it was costing too much, insurance and all those sorts of things. So we finished and didn't do anything for a long time. And then Jesse, again, my younger brother, he went and started playing some AFL, and I went and had a couple of seasons of that, and then ended up coaching for a few years because I think it was 2009. His coach pulled out halfway through the season, and if they didn't have a coach, his team was going to have to fall out of the competition. So I put my hand up and went and coached them just to get them through, and then I ended up doing it the following year as well. So, but I think it was about 2010. My knees that was it. from
your face, obviously.
Yeah, mate, my face was fucked already.
I'm just fucking with you.
But you know, from a few years of having horses slam into the side of you while you're on one and fucking your knees, so I didn't realise how bad.
Sounds vicious.
Oh man, Mum's got a heap of old VHS tapes of us playing, and we've recently gone back through and watched some of them. And we just think, why the fuck did you let us play this? Like it was
fucking rough. Play with horses and shit.
Man, it was. I
actually did endurance riding for a few years when I first moved up here with my old boy, and I used to ride for my neighbour.
That's right, because he had a lot of the Arabs and stuff too. Yeah, horses, Arab horses.
Everybody we're talking about. Australia's moved on from that age of their history.
Friends of our family, they breed Arabs for that reason.
Yeah,
they're
the best for endurance, man.
Yeah. Well, I used to play on a couple of Arabs for polo cross, man. Like they're uncomfortable to ride at a trot, but geez, they're fucking quick.
City boy, I don't understand. You know.
So it's a breed of horse, Dave. Okay, so you might have an Australian stock horse, you might have quarter horse, and then there is a breed called
what good's a
Arab.
quarter of a horse? That's one-legged horse.
He's got the dad jokes this week. It's not me anymore.
Was it dad or an Irish joke? It was one of the two.
Yeah.
Combination of both.
I'm an Irish joke. Actually, half of the Irish people that fucking are in Singleton were all there fucking on studs. You know, they're off Jerry's and different areas.
Reese used to work on one, so he knows.
Yeah.
Work on a state.
Yeah, we both know Cornwall.
Nah, but again, but Vinno, with AFL, do you ever get into international rules at all? The international rules was so when Ireland and Australia would come together and play like a mixed rules.
The only time I saw that was during high school. We had a crack. It was only within the school and stuff, but
what's his name? That teacher who brought it in, and he had a tattoo of Offaly on him.
Yeah.
What's his name? He was cool. Yeah, I remember he'd never been, and I was like, man, people in Offaly would be like, I'm not getting a fucking tattoo of Offaly. But that's where his family came from. He brought. That's when I kind of learned about, because it's not that big in Ireland.
Yeah.
But over here it's huge, because AFL's like, that was the one chance like AFL players got to wear an Australia jersey. You know what I mean? Because it's an Australian sport.
That's right.
And they're professional, and they'd go to Ireland and play the Gaelic players, but who aren't professional. They're just so you'd have Barry Hall, this professional athlete, showing up, and these little Irish fellas like, oh, so how big is that fella? You know? And he just starts smashing because it's AFL as well, because they're these little Irish fellas with the round ball, like giving little kickies, and you know they have to go home on Monday and be there to fucking open shop. Yeah. But Barry Hall's like, I'm here to kill yous. I remember seeing it like you know. Oh man, it was just it was a good mixing of it all, but yeah, man, I like AFL too.
Yeah, I didn't understand it when I first started.
AFL is what we used to call it when I was.
Yeah, it's the brave person to be an AFL.
It's got that step, but man, if you actually play a game, like I was very much.
I did play in high school. I played at the.
You can get fucking belted. One of the best.
360 degrees.
One of the best tackles I've ever seen. Actually, I talked Yatesy into coming and having a game, and this is a guy that was very much it's AFL. You know, like I don't want to borrow it, but I talked him into coming for a game, and he got kicked off the field, man, for spear tackling somebody in the back, like
shoulder charge.
And Yatesy at the time was skinny, right, but ridiculously strong, like, and as hard as nails. And flogged this dude. And I was at the other end of the field, and I just went, "Oh fuck, Yatesy, that's got to hurt, man!" Like he drilled this dude, and he got kicked off for it, and had no idea why he was getting kicked off. He just thought it was a clean tackle, but you can't. A lot of the hits you don't even know they're coming because you look in one direction, like you've just kicked the ball or something, you just get pummeled from behind. So that changed definitely my perception, obviously, of it. But even my dad's. So when Jesse came home and said, I want to go and play AFL, Dad was very close-minded, you know, like, nah, you're not playing that stupid, you know, aerial ping pong, you know, those sorts of things.
My daughter's home.
Yeah.
Like, change his name.
And then I said, you know, I'm going to go and play as well. And Dad ended up playing and then refereeing. He, you know, that was where we were very lucky because anything that we got into, Dad was in eventually 100%. You know, like I said, he was coaching Jesse's soccer because Jesse wanted to go and play soccer when he was younger. And polo cross, even though we didn't realise it at the time, the older you get and when you've got your own kids, you start to realise it. But the amount of overtime that he was doing and the extra work he was doing, because it was expensive, man. Like anything
especially
to do with horses.
Boys.
Yeah, and by the end of it, man, there were 6 of us playing, you know, so...
It's crazy.
5 of us playing.
What, Joe wasn't in there?
No, Joe played. Yeah, Joey had a few games, man.
Oh, what?
Yeah, dude.
I did not know that.
Funniest shit I've ever seen. But yeah, Joey had a few games.
Good on her. Good on her.
Good on your mum.
Ethan was the one who was the youngest, and he wasn't old enough. When we finished up, he would have only been old enough for sub-junior sort of thing. But the amount of effort Dad put in the back scenes, I suppose you'd say, to get us to the carnivals and even on the day, and then played as well. Like, we were probably a bit young and naive. We didn't notice it at the time. The older you get, you sort of go, well, fuck, you know, you really appreciate it. And shout out to Dad. Thanks for that, because some of the best years of our life. And then once we got to play in AFL, like I said, he started off pretty, no, I don't want to do this, to playing, and then to refereeing. And he even helped with another fella. At one stage, Singleton Club was going to get kicked out of the league. And Dad and another fella, Phil, went in and got the club back in, and they ended up the following year winning a premiership, the first premiership in, I can't even remember how long it was when they won that. But Childsy
it's like movie material right there, mate.
Oh, man, you should have seen this grand final, mate. Like, Josh Childs kept the winning point, right? And it was 1 point to win.
One shout out.
Yeah. So, the score was drawn and went into overtime, and overtime was just about to finish, and Childsy took the mark and kicked the point. Like, not even a goal. It was 1 point, and that was what won it for him. It was unreal. But it was.
Would have been a hometown hero too, eh?
He was, man, very much, because it was a special thing to nearly being kicked out of the league to win the grand final the following year. But Dad was very much involved in getting that back in. So anything that we've been interested in or we've gone and done, he's been committed to 100%. So we've been very lucky in that aspect.
It's cool.
Shout out to the dads out there.
Man, absolutely. Yeah, like, the sad thing is I haven't realised it until I've and take too much notice till I was older, and that's just maturity. But
no one does.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I think when they're doing it right.
Yeah.
When the dads are doing it right, their job isn't. Oh man, I hope he gives me some credit for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're at that age where you're not. It's not even expected. You know what I mean? But when you look back, you're right. It's like, man, that's not just love, but like, he put the effort in. He supported me.
Right.
He was there in a way. Yeah.
He took part. He wanted to be part in your life.
Yeah.
You know, that's great shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
other questions though. I've got one here. It's a kind of, it's a big one. It's a bit dark.
Yeah, let's
are you ready?
Go for
I'm
it.
ready.
Who are you asking it to first?
Okay.
Everyone. It's a generalised question.
Yeah, he's got to aim it. Who's starting?
I know I'll even go first.
Okay. All right.
Okay. What is your karaoke song?
Oh, I know.
Mine used to be Working Class Man at the Impy on Thursday night, because I'd be still in my high vis, and I go over and I drink, and but then it moved. It's always called Chisel. So then it moved to Kaysan, and what my thing used to be, my little party trick was, you know the way in Kaysan is like a flute solo. I'd try and get to the bar and get a drink, and then be back for the last plane out, Sydney, you know, to pick it up. I had it set up beforehand, but man, the Impy, that was my karaoke song. Had to be Jimmy Barnes, Working Class Man, depending on what time of the night. Okay, San. Right. What about you guys?
So mine, and it would always come out sort of later, and I've sung this at Jerry's Place Tavern a few times, was Wise Men, Fools Rush In, Elvis Presley.
Oh, what a song.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I had fucking cracked that
how
out.
good was karaoke out at JPT?
Man, I do remember. So a fucking time that Reese stitched me up, man. Friday night, Friday afternoon, we'd all organised that we were going to go to the fucking Jerry's Plains Tavern. And they said, we're all going to dress up. We're all going to dress up and we'll go down there. I said, yeah, fuck righto. So Dave, you might remember this, and I found the photo of it from our Year 10 formal, right? My green suit, the pimp suit, right?
Firesiders, just so you know, Vinno rocked up with a fucking pimp suit and a cane to our formal.
We got the limo as well. Remember walking through walking into KFC?
we were the most like
cringy shit.
But anyway, here, go on.
But anyway, I still have this. I still have the fucking suit, man. And anyway,
you wouldn't fit it anymore, surely.
Oh, I reckon I would.
Wow.
But
maybe for the hot ones. So we'll all go in our formal gear.
But I bought the suit.
I rented my shit.
There's no way I'd fit in mine. I think it's still at Dad's.
Speaking of, I probably would, because I've got a bit of a gut now that I'm driving trains and shit. But I bought the suit for $6 from Vinny's or the op shop or something like that, right? Mum got it dry clean, and anyway, this night, Reese, they've been talking up all week. Yeah, we're going to go to JP Tavern. We're going to get dressed up. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I know what I'm taking. So I knock off work, go home, have a shower, get in this suit, and I drive out to Reese's place. Anyway, I get there just as we're about to go down to the tavern, and I walk in the front door of Reese's place, and everyone's just dressed normal, and I'm like,
"You're that guy."
I see what it is. And they're like, "Come on, we've got to go," and I'm like, "Yeah, I bet we fucking do." All right. So anyway,
wait, he rocked it though.
We're on our way down to the JP Tavern. I'm sitting in the car next to Reese, and I went, "You're a fuckwit, man!" Like, and he's like, "What are you gonna do? Like, what can you do now? You're on the way to the tavern." I'm like, "I know I am."
Own it.
Man, I fucking walked in that tavern. I copped some fucking looks from a lot of rednecks, but I didn't give a shit. But that night was karaoke, and I remember standing there in those white fucking bowler shoes with that green fucking suit on, singing Wise Men, and thinking, yeah, I'm a fucking rock star, pissed as a newt with a JD in my hand. It was good.
Yeah.
That was an important song to you as well, from, if we remember back to the last episode, we were talking about your grandfather used to sing that to you when you were a kid, and here you are spreading on that story to your intellectual children, Reese and his friends at Jerry's Plains.
Oh, look, it'll always be a song
that I love that town. I love Jerry's.
I can sing off by heart anytime, and it was one that I loved fucking cranking out, especially after a few drinks at karaoke. Absolutely, I'll get up there and sing that.
Elvis was known to wear the flamboyant suit or two, singing an old song like that too.
Maybe.
I don't give a shit. I rocked that suit and I rocked that song that night. So
Casper. What about Reese now?
Man, my go-to has always been "Poison" by Alice Cooper.
Oh, what a great song! That's epic.
It's one of those songs, man. The chorus just, I don't know.
Your
it's
lips
fucking fun.
That is a great song.
Poison.
I want to touch you, but
yeah, man, it's so good.
That's high pitched. You got to hit that note as well. That'd be hard.
That's the whole point of karaoke, is you don't have to hit it. You just have to look like an idiot, and I do that quite well.
Yeah, get everyone singing along with you.
No, everyone. Yeah. Look, I've seen a good friend of ours, Lucas Smith, get up there and sing "Sure" at the Hamilton Station Hotel, right? Absolutely fucking killed it. His voice was terrible, but everybody loved it. Because of his energy. If you own that song, you'll own a crowd. That's the best advice.
Were you there the night that Toby did? Toby always does Copperhead Road and does it so good, man.
I think
Absolutely kills it.
I've seen him a couple of times do it, but
I think I've got video of it, man. I videoed him one night at Hamo Station, and I was in stitches, man. It was amazing,
dude. You can't beat a good karaoke night. Once
Nah.
people, especially people that are
last
normally
year for
quiet.
Ange's birthday, we all went to there's this mag karaoke bar on Union Street across the road from what is it, Next fucking Leagues Club thingy.
Yep.
Union Street between King Street and Hunter Street. There's a fucking awesome little karaoke bar in there. We went there for Ange's birthday last year, man. Fuck, it was a good night. So fun, man.
Man, like
And Lucas was up there doing his thing as usual.
dude, Lucas is awesome fun at those sorts of things because he does not give a fuck. And
Nah.
it's just good fun.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
No, that's a good question, man. I mean, yeah, Poison's always been my kind of go-to. I've done a couple of good renditions of the Grease Mega Mix.
Fuck, that's a good mega mix, man.
It is. I
love that Grease soundtrack altogether. Oh, man.
I need a man.
Those Magic Changes is one of the fucking, is a beautiful song. Like I could do a whole episode on the Grease soundtrack. Forget the movie, forget the masterpiece. Man, I'd love to hear. You know what? Maybe Fireside karaoke should be a thing.
I think it should be.
That'd be an in-person.
That'd be a
I think we
fantastic
should-
live show that we could do at a pub somewhere.
Is there any good karaoke bars in Canberra?
That's Dave's-
Probably, man.
That's Dave's homework.
Yeah.
Get it fun.
I will investigate. But then we got to. Maybe it's best we get a machine, buy a Fireside out one of our backyards or something. Because then we got to worry about filming it and shit. Maybe get a couple of the Firesiders to show up as the audience to cheer us on, sing along a bit.
Open party. Anybody
Yeah,
that wants to
open party.
come.
And then millions and millions of Firesiders will show up.
A milli,
I'll
a
probably have to do it
milli, a
out on
milli,
Vinno's
a
family
milli.
farm. Yeah.
Mate, Rowan would have you out there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You go there.
With his chilies.
Go show.
So,
All right.
I suppose, Reese, you want to take us to a quick break or you?
No, I don't
already?
think I
Oh,
will.
man, struggling.
No, I don't think I will.
No, I think we'll continue, Vinno.
I was just about to ask another question, but
Mate, I haven't even asked the question yet, but
neither have I.
yeah, you have. You asked the first question.
You're a liar.
He said about sports growing up. Then I did the heavy shit with karaoke. Vinno, maybe let's answer Vinno's questions before we go. What's your question? And then after the break, we get serious. And ask hard.
Oh, I've
did
got
you
some.
ask?
Man, I've got a good list here. I've got some serious questions.
Man, I've
So
got
I
some
only
hard
finished
answer
work a
shit.
few hours ago, so I was just going to ask some rough questions, but I suppose, and you answered a little bit before, and it applies to both of you, I suppose, but Dave, when you first came over here from Ireland and being in the city of Dublin, your first day of school, I remember that, and you were put with Nathan McKenzie, who's a mad lad, but
He is a
really,
bad lad.
he
I
is a
haven't seen
really
him
good
in
bloke.
so long.
Man, awesome dude. But you got, came to a very quiet school sort of thing as opposed to what you'd come from.
Did you and I go to the same school?
As I said, as opposed to what he had come from, right? So
Yeah,
for
true, yeah.
for us, it was crazy, but for Dave coming from, a city and another
If
country.
you came from Sydney or if you came from Melbourne, it would be the same thing.
Yeah.
Or even Brizzy and maybe even Newey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, go on. What was the question?
What was your thoughts your first day walking into somewhere like that? Somewhere completely different. Were you anxious about what people were going to think of you?
Fuck yeah.
Tell us
No one
about.
could understand me.
Yep.
So no one could understand me at all. So initially I was with Nathan, right? But I got lost from him somehow. And I ended up going into, the main square area,
West
in the
Quad.
front. Yeah. And I went up to Dink and someone else. I can't remember who it was. And I remember, because I remembered the head of him.
Probably Matty Carroll.
I was like, I was fucking, all those lads. Were like, and I went over to them. I was like, hey, and I must have said something like, hey, do you know who Nathan? I'm supposed to meet Nathan here or something like that. And they basically was like, what the hell is this dude saying? And I was like, so I just was like, and I walked away.
No, hasn't
I walked
changed.
No.
You still don't know
man.
what you say half the time.
Dude, and as well, I walked home to the Heights my first day because I'd forgotten what bus it was, and I was just waiting
bro,
there.
the bus stop there was so fucked, dude.
Yeah,
Mine
man.
was
I missed
easy,
the
man.
bus the first day. I had to go there too, man. Don't worry.
Mine
I'm
was
with you.
right up
Except
the end towards the ag plots, man. I could not fucking miss mine. Mind you,
I couldn't.
there was only
walk
one
to Jerry's
bus that probably
Plains. I'll give you the
took
hot
out.
tip.
Yeah. There was no. It was a bit easier for me getting back to the Heights, but nah, man. Look, honestly, at first I was already like I'd shaved my head when I came to singing because I used to have a shaved head, but I used to have my fringe.
Right.
My fringe used to come down all the way in like dreads. And I was in a gigging community. I was getting drunk every weekend. I was doing crazy shit. I was doing all-nighters in town. And it kind of felt like, they put me in this school. And now immediately I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to try and latch on to some people who like to go out on the weekends and all. And I go to Nathan. And obviously Nathan, like, at that time would have been a very, like a good kid. He was like, hey, how you going, mate? And welcome to Single, and like show me around. And I'm like, where are the smokers at? You know what I mean? Like where can I get a ciggy around here? And like, and I got lost and yeah. But ultimately, I have to say, like, and I went introvert a little bit. And you probably remember I used to just get me Discman at lunchtime, and I would fucking sit down and I would just put my headphones in and I would listen to Pantera and all.
I flat out remember saying to Hicksy, who the fuck is that guy over there? Like, because we're on the back oval playing the back basketball courts. No, it was when we were playing touch because we got kicked off the back oval for smoking
my
out there.
Discman never left my pocket in high school.
Oh, man.
Fucking how important was that shit about having fucking batteries ready and shit?
Oh, dude.
You'd pull them out and warm them, put them back in. Oh, man, Walkmans even.
I literally always had headphones on. Always. Yeah.
It's a big part of me. Yeah.
The same question goes to you, Reese, as well. Like coming from coastal town and all that to first day high school in a country town, like what was your...
In a way, man, I was kind of lucky, like, because I moved up in the holiday period between terms 3 and 4. So I started on the first day of term 4. And I was kind of lucky because, man, like, apart from playing all of those other sports and stuff, man, like my whole childhood and even still every now and then, like, I've skated. Like, so at that time, man, like I was skating flat out in Kiama. I was skating and bodyboarding, and, man, like, it was weird because I come from, like you said, coastal town. Like, man, we could do surfing for sport, like at my high school down there. Like, on sport day, we'd literally take our boards to school and go to the beach and surf. Like, it was fucking awesome. So, like, and, we had a sick skate park down there. Like, it was everything that I loved, you know what I mean? So coming up here, as soon as I got here, I was like, where's the skate park? You know what I mean?
That wasn't built yet. That one over the Heights.
They had the
what?
They had the
PCYC,
PCYC, yeah.
Which was all timber fucking ramps and shit.
No, it was concrete. It was concrete.
Oh,
But it was very
actually,
small, very small though. It wasn't big. There was like 2/4, 2 roll-ins, a fun box, and a rail on the ground. That was it. Like it was, and a hip, I think, a little hip. But when I first moved up, straight away I was to like Dad and Julie when we went to do groceries. I was like, take me to a skate park. Like I want to go skate. And because it was school holidays, obviously there was kids there. And I was just lucky enough that I ran into a bunch of kids. Like I went there, man, and I was just keeping myself and skating by myself. But eventually, you start mingling with people and stuff there. And it turned out that this group of dudes that were there were all in the same age as me. And they were in my year at school. So I was kind of lucky because when I went to the first day of school, like I obviously ran into them and I was like, hey, so that was kind of lucky for me in a way. But it was definitely different, man. Like you just had like a full agricultural plot and shit out the back of the school, and we had none of that shit down in Kiama, bro. Like
I'd never seen that shit either. I was like, they're getting kids ready to fucking
farm.
Yeah,
it was crazy, man.
But you need it though,
Yeah, but I mean, in a way, there was, I guess, similarities. I think the school, like Singleton High and like Kiama High, were probably similar sizes. In ways of like the actual physical size of the school, but the number of students as well. So that was all kind of, pretty similar. But I guess just people's lifestyles were very different coming from a coastal town to a country town. You know what I mean? And especially like Singleton's obviously very army and mining orientated town, so those are like the
army, mines and wines.
That's right. Yeah. So it's kind of, it's crazy because I didn't realize until I'd moved up here and I got older that like Kiama was like really bad for drugs. I didn't even know until I was older, man. Like had huge overdose rates and shit like that, which I didn't even know. But yeah, I mean, I just skated and listened to music, man. That was what I did as a teenager, man, pretty much. And then so it was a bit different, but in hindsight, I guess there was a lot of similarities, so it was pretty easy for me to
transition,
to blend in. I think the bonus was I didn't get bullied as much up here. I used to get bullied a lot in Kiama, but when I moved up here, because I had a kind of clean
fresh start,
it was
man.
I still ended up getting bullied a bit, but nowhere near to the extent that I was down in Kiama.
Vinno.
Yeah. Once I met Vinno, it kind of ramped up a little bit, but.
And then he might have kept it, being one of the big bullies himself, would have been like, oh shit, don't fuck with Reese. Because they've got big bad Vinno who used to, do all that horrible stuff to us.
What a load of shit. Yeah. What an absolute
Another thing, look, let's just move on quickly from that because I know Vinno doesn't like talking about it. His dark past. But
what a crock of shit. I'm going to ask this question to the audience. Did you actually believe that crap that fucking Dave put up as a title last week? What? Like,
some call it clickbait, some call it absolute truth. But we'll never know. You'll find the truth somewhere in between. But for me, I'll tell you one thing that went up for me as soon as I came to Sing Ahoy. Because in Ireland, it is cold. Okay? And being a young man when you're 13, 14 years old, you're starting to, you're in the middle of this ladies kind of you know what I mean? It's happening, you know what I mean? And man,
getting little
in Ireland
stiffies and shit.
Dude, well, here's what I'm saying. When you're that age in Ireland, I first was in a boys' school, you know what I mean? But when you'd see the girls' school, the dresses were down to their ankles.
Then you come
when I went to Sing fucking High, it was like they were wearing belts. I was like, is that a dress or a belt? You know what I mean? And I was just like unbelievable. And you know what I mean? So to me, it was like, all right.
This is a win.
I
see this as an absolute win.
I think I like this 2-3-3-0 fucking place up in here, 8 baller. You know what I mean? I'm ready. Fuck. I'm joining this shit. You know what I mean?
Fuck. They weren't even a thing.
I will say there was some beautiful Australian lovely ladies when I moved here, and it was a culture shock to me. That was.
And they definitely hated your accent and yeah.
It was a different day. But anyway, yeah.
Let's take a quick break, Reece. What do you reckon?
I think we better. I think I need a break. I think I need about 2 minutes.
All right.
2 minutes? Minute and a half of cuddles and we're good.
I think that's including a smoke. Yeah.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for the little piss break there. We're back.
Fucking nailed it.
Yes, the beers are flowing. That's nothing unusual by the fire, though. All right, well, I'm gonna keep us rolling, and this is a
shout out to Limp Bizkit. Sorry.
Yeah, shout out. Actually, I finally gave the album a bit of a listen.
What do you
Not
reckon?
Too shabby.
It's
Not
all
too
right,
shabby.
isn't it? It's okay.
It's very short. It's very short.
Very quick album. It's easy to get through.
They kind of do like a bit of everything on that. Like it's cool. It was. I didn't mind it though. I didn't mind it. I can't remember the name of the song. There was one song that I really liked. It doesn't matter. I can't remember the name of it, but it was sick. It was like a very hip hoppy kind of song. But anyway, my next question: if you could have a superhero power, what would it be?
Oh, hang on. Let's clarify this. When you say superhero, are you referring to like specifically Marvel? Are you
superpower?
There's no limit on brand as a superhero.
All right.
Flying, invisible. Yeah.
Anything you want.
Done.
If you could have a
Lay it
superhero
out.
power.
All right.
what would
Can it be a combination or it's just got to be one?
it
Gotta
could
be
be
one.
whatever you want.
All right. It's not
But you only
specifically
get
a
one.
superhero. Yeah, fuck you, man. All right, done. It's not necessarily a superhero, but it is a power. I would love to have the power that Sub-Zero does. If I can throw an ice at cunts.
free.
Yep.
Like Elsa.
I mean, I could probably point a few
Frozen.
directions in Newcastle to get some ice if you want.
I'd like to be a drug dealer. I'd like to ruin lives. Thank you very much. Hey, addict, get over here. You know.
Oi, typical bully, eh? Wants to ruin
Yeah, he's
cunts' lives.
You know what I'd like? I'd like to fucking. I'd like people to be obsessed with what I've got.
See the shit I have to fucking put up with? Like, no wonder I'm fucking bald. I can't
You
even
don't
say
like it
shit.
now that people are starting to give it back to you, do you? He wishes it was back in the day when he had people by the scruff of the neck and
Yeah.
we won't get it too into it.
No. We don't want to expose him too much.
No. We have to work with this fella.
I'm going to get dragged into a meeting at work and have to explain why I was supposedly a fucking bully at school when I wasn't, you cunts.
Hey, you just go to show that people can change, eh?
Oh, yeah, righto. Anyway. So, yes.
Maybe that's his superpower, his
Yes.
ability to change.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
that would be Reptile that you're talking about.
Yeah, true. Chameleon ass motherfucker.
So we've had this fucking discussion because the first Mortal Kombat game that I ever played was on Sega, but the first one that I ever owned was Mortal Kombat.
Sega.
Oh, fucking
I'm sorry.
But the first one that I actually owned, I think, was Mortal Kombat Trilogy on
On
PC.
PS1.
No, on PC.
PC.
I had it, yeah. And I used to play against my brothers. And
Trilogy was sick.
yeah. And we had the chat like if you had to be one of these dudes, who would it be? And like we said, if you could amalgamate all of them together, that'd be like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Ermac, all those sorts of guys, and amalgamate them into one. Like that'd be the ultimate superhero. So that'd essentially be if I had to choose a superpower.
Sub-Zero was always my favorite growing up as a kid too.
Yeah, man.
Looked coolest for sure.
Yeah, even from Sega, like now I'd suppose.
Did you see the new? It's Sega, yeah. Now, did you see the new movie
This guy.
Mortal Kombat?
Yes,
Yeah, it was
Sub-Zero.
good.
Sub-Zero gets a fucking nice showing in that, man. I have to say,
Yeah.
both him and Scorpion. are fucking
What I
really
like
good.
about it, there was a mini series that came out on YouTube a few years back.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
it was about it's a Scorpion series, and they've stuck to that. That's where they've taken it from, because there was talk that YouTube series was going to be the third movie, right? So I don't know if you know, but when the first two movies came out, there was a contract for 3, right? After the second one came out, they labelled it a failure, so they didn't make the third one, but there was still the contract for the third movie. So that movie that's recently come out was supposed to be the third installment from the ones back made in the 90s. But it was put on hiatus because of how bad the second movie was. I didn't think it was that bad. As a kid, I thought it was fucking awesome, because...
Go back and watch it now.
Well, look,
Yeah.
man, you go back and watch any of those movies now,
I still like it though because it's like,
Nostalgic, yeah.
Dude,
Like
it
even
brought
Street
in-
Fighter was good
Yeah.
still.
Yeah,
Like, it's
yeah.
shit, but when you go back, you only like it for nostalgia.
But you look at the year that it was made, though, like...
Yeah,
And you look at CGI and how far it's come in that time. But the second movie brought in, like Jax.
not the same as the first one though.
No, it wasn't. The first one, man, was the first time you'd seen it taken from a game and put on the screen.
Seriously good, still
Oh,
good.
dude, it was.
Yeah.
So
Goro might have even had a better one in that one than he did in the remake. I think
he did.
Goro in the remake looked good,
Yep.
but I don't think
Yeah.
they gave him the. I don't think they treated him
Look,
as
I thought-
with the respect he probably should have got.
I
But
thought
at the same time, Sub-Zero storyline incredible.
Yeah.
I got the impression with the new one that it was towards from say maybe the middle to the end was rushed. It was like the big build up to the actual tournament, and then it got to the tournament. It was like, oh fuck, we're running out of time. We got to rush this.
They didn't do the tournament. It was like a pre-tournament.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was a behind the scenes tournament, so to speak. But there was so much build up to it. It could have been 2 movies or even a series, you know, because there was the build up, and then oh fuck, righto, let's rush this through. And I was happy walking out of there, but at the same time, I was disappointed because I thought there was so much more that could have been done. Which
I don't think they thought it was going to be as big.
No.
Yeah,
I think when
maybe
they put the Sub-Zero stuff out, it went huge. Like, because that's what people wanted.
Yeah, I mean, it's a massive franchise, so how could it not blow up? There's always going to be
stuff that didn't.
Yeah, they have. But with the last releases and with the games I'm talking about, they've been massive.
Yep.
Been a huge response. There's a cult following there. So, and if you're releasing the newest movie since the 90s, there's always going to be, you know, a lot of people show up to that. So do it properly. And I think they did a good job. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think they butchered it, but I feel that it could have been more than just one movie. I think they could have done a bit more with it.
Yeah.
So.
I feel they're setting up that second one, like, you know, with the Johnny Cage kind of like hint at the end, and like, you know, like, so they could, if they put more, I don't know if it necessarily needs more money, but like you were saying, get a bit more into the storyline, really, because now people want that second one.
Yes,
you know, they want. So now I think they've got to treat it nicely. But I like the aesthetic of it all. I think they did it really well. Yep. And the intro, what a fucking intro! That backstory was fucking amazing. Maybe even my favorite part of the whole movie.
That's what I was referring to with that YouTube series that they made. It was very similar. So the intro to the movie, to that intro series that they did with Scorpion's backstory, was very, very similar. And I liked that because that YouTube series that they made was really well done. And I was hoping that it would become something, and whether that's where they got the inspiration from, I don't know. But yeah. But to answer your question, Reese, yes, that's what.
Sub-Zero,
preferably all of them. That's one. But Dave.
What about you, Davey?
Dave's going to be Batman.
No, because Batman doesn't have
I don't think he is. Exactly.
Superpower. Batman's rich.
Batman's like Elon Musk.
His superpower is his credit card.
He's rich and he's
white. He's white.
Yeah, he's mega white. The Wayans, you know what I mean? They're as opposed to the Wayans in the real world, which are African American legends
and fucking hilarious.
Oh man! But so anyway,
if you don't speak to me,
Batman, I'd like the virtue of Batman.
Me when I speak to you, I'm gonna put my foot
don't be a menace
in your ass, dummy.
Is one of the best, man. When you say superhero power, is this a power that I have to help people with? Because he obviously picked Sub-Zero, so that's a supervillain power. So just a superpower.
No. Yeah, just a superpower. Yeah.
I think the most I could benefit in my normal life from would be time travel. I think I could get the almanac like in Back to the Future and I could just make some fucking money. I could put some stock, you know, I could buy some stock and just be happy that way. And if I ever fucked up, I can go back and fix it.
All right. Question with that. Would you go back and change the events of history, not just your own history?
No, it wouldn't benefit me because I couldn't predict it. I would go to the future only, past, and in order to get lotto numbers.
So you wouldn't necessarily
that type of stuff. No,
I wouldn't necessarily go back,
capitalist pig,
and put a bullet in Hitler, and
no, because
like while he's in the trenches during World War One. No,
I would.
You don't know how that's going to. What happens if doing that altered the future and you were never born?
What if we never defeated the Nazis and something more powerful came along because that, you know, because maybe Hitler being killed became a martyr for everyone.
Yeah.
God, they're taking
no. That's what I'm saying. If you took him out during the trenches in World War One, before he's even known as a political leader or a Nazi, or started the Nazi movement, so he basically doesn't make it past World War One.
Someone would have. It's not. I think Hitler, with the cult of personality, was good for the National Socialists, but I think the post World War One Germany is what created the Germans that would eventually.
I don't doubt that, but Mein Kampf, him writing that in prison, and his following that he had from just him as a personality. We'll probably do an episode on it later because I would love to. I'm right into this sort of stuff, the history of how we got to World War II and how destructive it was and why the fuck it happened. Even World War One, very, very much invested in that. But yeah, I suppose that's a question that I would ask anyone that brings up time travel is...
When do you stop? That's the problem. Yeah. That's the only problem I have. Like, what, am I going to stop Genghis Khan and change the whole fucking footprint of Earth? Am I going to go to these people were vicious. Am I going to go to Alexander the Great and be like, you fucking stay behind your border? Or am I going to go and make England leave Ireland? Am I going to, there's only so much you could do. I think there's a problem because, but not just that. Fucking with the past is, that's where time travel doesn't make sense ultimately, because what if I create a series of events that makes it that I don't exist, and then I'm Marty McFly. Marty McFly looking at me hand leaving while Marvin Berry is stealing rock and roll from me.
It's an interesting concept, isn't it? About time travel and
it's crazy, man. How when you start to think about it, you just get deeper and deeper into it, and there's so much that you don't think about in the interim, like the initial thought of time travel. And the more you think about it, you're like, holy fuck.
But look at it, like Dave just mentioned there, where you don't know the outcomes. The advances that we've made since World War II, because of World War II, have shaped the world as it is.
Everything we have is a result of what's happened. So
that's correct.
I think you're 100% right in saying you should only go to the future.
Yeah, but it still begs the question of, from a moral sense, if you had that power, would that cross your mind? Would you do that, or would you take more of a logical stance?
I think I'd only go back in time to experience things that I feel like I missed out on. Like,
okay, look, like eye on the wall type of thing.
Yeah, like big events, like seeing bands that I'd never get to see, and
go and see
stuff
Biggie
like
Smalls and Tupac.
Pompeii,
100%.
volcano, dinosaurs.
Oh man, wouldn't that be wild?
But here's one thing.
I would go back. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
All right, go for it.
I would go back and see how the pyramids were built, whether they were dropped from the sky or whether they were built. Answer a lot of fucking questions. I would. But anyway, Dave, keep going.
No, but I'm saying to go deeper, to go a bit deeper and closer. Would you go back to when you could rescue a friend, you could talk someone away from something? So they're smaller changes that you could justify, I feel, because it's not like, all right, I'm changing the landscape here. Maybe I'm intervening. Maybe I'm telling, but not to go too deep there, because obviously you could allude to saving people's lives.
And that's what I mean about the logical or emotional aspect of it, right? So just say you were going back to save a friend, but from whatever happened to them, it has spawned a series of events that have benefited a lot of people, or it's opened the eyes and sparked a conversation, right, for a lot of people and changed their lives for the better. Do you alter that through your own emotion, or do you look at the logical aspect of it and say, right, this has only happened. Yeah, this has only happened because of this. Do I go and change that? And that's why I asked the question in regards to Hitler, right? Because a lot of people would go, yeah, fuck that guy. What he did was atrocious. And a lot of the things that happened only happened because of him being alive. Still to this day. The benefits, I might call them benefits. The pros from World War II, which is hard to look at, but the moon landing only happened because of the advancements of
Israel
rockets. Oh, right, to fuck with Reese, because fuck that guy. The rockets, right, have only been an advancement since World War II because of
That's the experiment.
Yes, yeah, and the technology developed throughout that. So it's a hard topic to sort of analyse, isn't it?
It is, man.
And we're starting to get into real fucking like stoner talk.
But how can you justify this? When I go to, at least I can be like, if I'm going to the future and I'm getting lotto numbers and all, at least I'm like, God, I'm swindling, I'm stealing in a way, I'm having an unfair advantage in a game. But when you start to change the course of people's lives, and I guess in a way
it's crazy.
It's different then, and it's very different because again, no World War II, no Israel, no conflict with Palestine in that sense. It would still be owned by Britain. There would be no
Vietnam War though.
No, nothing.
So Vietnam, yeah. There's so many changes.
Japan and China. All of a sudden, does Japan still own China? There's so many, and even ourselves. Think of all the Australians.
America doesn't become a superpower.
Yeah. Oh, they were because in the second, after the First World War, they were very much established as a superpower. I think.
Yeah.
The
to a degree,
they were dragged into it and needed, and
by the end of
losing. But
by the end of World War One, France still had the biggest army and the most powerful army in the world.
Navy as well, yeah.
Well, England had that. It's pretty deep to get into that, but as far as the possibilities, and it's taken
over in a couple of days, didn't they? How long did France take?
Blitzkrieg. So this is a fascinating thing, and this is what I like about it. Right, is the transition from, I suppose, the old world to a new world style tactic with Blitzkrieg. It went from trench warfare, which World War One was, and ended on a stalemate, essentially. You can argue that as much as you like. But to go from Blitzkrieg and the use of tanks, which had only been seen in World War One, and the way that tanks were used in basically the combination of Air Force, tank, like armoured cavalry and infantry all in one. And that was the basis of a German tactic, right? Blitzkrieg was tanks go in and disrupt the enemy lines, infantry coming behind, but with your Stuka dive bombers and the Luftwaffe as well. The enemy had no fucking idea, right? And this is why the French were completely fucking lost. They had, they built these defenses in preparation for another trench warfare style war. But they weren't prepared for an attack through the Ardennes. So it's when you look back at the minds and the tactics that were used at the start of World War II, it was phenomenal what they were able to achieve in a short period of time because of the risks that they took and the way that they did things. And
methamphetamines.
Look, that's that's been a question. Oh, fuck off!
And straight up, just throwing ice out at the fucking all of Europe.
Shards,
it's if you look into it, and
just look like Heisenberg,
But if you've got the interest there and you have a look into that, it's interesting to see how even for modern tactics, the developments throughout World War II have shaped the way we are now. It's taken us away from that archaic stand at each other and shoot. You look at Gallipoli with the Australian soldiers, with the sacrifices made there. Going over the top, blowing a whistle to go into certain death. And to what we do now with tactical insertions.
What about the Battle of Stalingrad?
Mate, that was
shooting their own like the Russians were shooting their own soldiers for retreat.
Yeah, look, I'll get into Russia.
They won the war the hard way. I can't remember who said it. I think some German dude said, I can't remember who it was. He said the German tanks were worth 5 Russian tanks, but Russia came with 6. Every fucking time they would just throw it at you and they would eat grass to beat you. Fucking vicious motherfuckers.
In the middle of winter and shit.
They are very hard people. Yeah, man. Similar
to Aussies, I think, in the way that especially back then. Like back then in Australia, you had to kind of be tough to live off the land, and you know what I mean. It was
especially our land.
Yes,
the resilience.
Yeah, man.
And they had the extreme cold. You had the extreme heat, and that made your soldiers a certain way. You know.
Well, that's and that, I suppose that comes down to the Anzac spirit that they mention a lot. We talk about a lot, right? You know, the ability to be over there in Turkey, in Gallipoli, you know, and be laughing and having jokes with the enemy and showing respect to them, whilst being in some of the harshest conditions and, you know,
a different time.
You know, being in a sense oppressed by the English under their command and their control. So,
the land on Anzac Cove and
it builds a spirit. It builds a spirit, and Russia certainly has. And I you know, I haven't been there. I'd love to go there.
Love to, yeah.
But just to meet their people. But they have they're very resilient people through all their hardships, and they've got a lot of history there too. So, but Dave,
no, it's Reese's superpower we haven't heard yet.
Actually, yeah, we fucking haven't.
So we've had mine, which ended up being about World War II.
World War One, World War Two.
So
I was about it, but I'm not.
I'd have a time machine so I could steal the lotto. And Vinno was like, "But what about World War II?" No, but I loved it. And we should have an episode about that.
Oh man, we're fucking going to
series about that in itself.
We're going to.
Hannah gives me shit for watching war documentaries all the time, man.
Dude, I need some new ones.
Learn from them.
Yeah.
I need some new ones. Like the American ones are pretty good to a sense, but they're very Americanized.
Yeah.
And I've read a lot of books, and it's only out of pure interest, you know, that I read and watch this stuff. So I need some new ones. If anyone's got some, fucking throw them at me, and I'll tell you if I've already seen it, which I probably haven't.
Everyone glorifies their own, like in a good way and a bad way. So like America will be very America focused. Russia obviously will be very Russia focused. Australia, like you're saying about World War One, we look at Australia in Australia, we look at World War One as Australians in an Anzac perspective, don't we?
That's
like,
right.
whereas you go from England, different parts of the world, it's from a completely different worldview.
The Western Front was. We had a lot of soldiers there, and a lot of soldiers lost.
Yeah.
It was a massive campaign, but Gallipoli was the first one as a nation that we were involved in. You know, as Australia, as an independent nation. So,
and such a story of an expedition. You
absolutely.
know, like you were saying about resilience, it was kind of like you're up against it. The Turks were ready. They had ammunition and machine gun turrets there, and the Aussies had bayonets.
But
you know that. Think about that. You know, like,
it was the Ottoman.
It shouldn't have happened.
It was the Ottoman Empire. You know, essentially, that you're up against an empire that has existed for. You know,
Alexander's days.
Yeah. And there we are as a new nation up against it. You know, that's
with New Zealand
underdog story. Oh man, and this is where, you know, we very easily forget New Zealand, and we shouldn't, because they were there. They were there with us, and they have been from the get-go.
What about us, bro?
We apologise for any terrible New Zealand accents.
I'd like to apologise to everybody in the great.
There's the apology. There it is.
But Reece, what's your
to them now?
What's your superpower?
I'm mad sorry, New Zealand. But yeah, your superpower.
Look, it's really hard. I think it'd be like a toss-up between maybe like teleportation or I don't know. I think being able to fly would be pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah. But I think with fly, like Superman, you need stuff to help you live. Because if you fly, where are you going to fucking whack into a plane? Like, you all of a sudden, you're dangerous now. You know, this is a dangerous fucking air. What if I fall asleep? Like, what if I faint, like, and you're falling? So you want that Superman flying shit, eh? Like Sonic booming.
Yeah.
You fly to it, really.
I don't know. I think teleportation would be cool, though, because you can just go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like
anywhere.
I don't know. I've not really traveled much, so that's more appealing to me, I guess.
But, okay, if you had the ability to teleport, would you prefer to be able to teleport if you were holding someone? So just say you and Hannah, right? You're like, fuck it, let's go to Italy this weekend.
100%.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you would make it that if you were touching somebody, you could teleport and they would come with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Straight
So
up.
you could be like, Vinno, I know you're out at fucking bumfuck nowhere at work, but I'm going to teleport out there, grab you, we're going to go to the pub, and then I'll drop you back by the time you knock off.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like it.
Would you use it just in day-to-day life, like just to get around your house and just to take like I'm going
Would you exploit it?
Shit from...
Would you hang on? Would you make it so that you could, if you did a shit in your bed, but it had the ability to drop in the toilet? Like, would you?
I don't know. I've had really no experience in shit in beds, Vinno.
Neither do I, but I would like to know.
Don't you fucking lie to me.
I haven't shit the bed. I've shit myself.
Would you kill Hitler with your teleporting skills?
Would you drop a spearhead shit on fucking Hitler's head?
100% I would.
I think all of us would shit on Hitler at least.
It'd be a good laugh.
You know, the only thing you could do, like if you went back in time to Hitler, you could just like try and somehow get him into art college. I think that would have solved half of that shit.
I'd just like to go back and fuck with him.
Yeah. Like, hey,
just
Hitler.
like show up in front of him like, hey, Hitler, and then just disappear.
Yeah. It's like, you're crazy.
Or would you have the ability?
Start it all. Yeah.
Would you have the ability, like, because
I
I'd love
what
these.
I'd grab Vinno and I'd be like, boom, boom. Hey, Hitler, this is your future drug dealer.
Or have Vinno bully him. Have Vinno go back and destroy him.
The world would be a different place if Vinno just bullied Hitler instead of Hitler.
I'd have Dave go back.
Vinno.
I'd have Dave go back and correct him on his fucking grammar, right, when he's giving his speeches, and then I'd have Reese go back there and tell him, just stand in the crowd and just go, I can't hear you, bro. Talk up. And just harass the fuck out of him.
Perfect Reese impression.
But okay, here's a question: would you go back as a pigeon and just shit on him while he's giving a public speech?
Fuck yes.
Shit's not bad
Fuck
enough,
yeah.
is it?
What?
I'd be like
Pelican shit.
an
Send me back as a pelican. I want to cover that motherfucker.
cartoon.
All right.
You ever been shat on by a pelican, bro?
Fuck that, man.
Bro,
I've
there's
seen-
some big shit, dude.
I've seen what they do. Like, I used to live in Carrington, man, so I used to have to drive past pelican shit every day going over that bridge.
Yeah, man. It's
And-
some serious shit.
Fucking hectic. Anyway. It's
All
a
right.
Dave's question.
You got some fucking would you rathers and shit, don't you? You got some hard ones, don't you, Reese?
Reese just asked that question about superpowers, so
That's
not
fine. There's no orders here. We're just going it. We're just firing.
fucking going.
It's spitfiring.
all right, I got a question. All
fire.
right, I got a question. So, for those that aren't in the know, during the week we got kicked off Facebook, right?
Oh yeah.
And it sparked a conversation. We got back on there. It was a very simple fix, but one of the members of the Fireside Yarns blew up and started carrying on, and it started a conversation about. No, it wasn't Dave.
What happened?
So it started a
I'd
conversation.
hardly call it carry on.
It's
It's been going on
He's
for a
talking
bit.
about me. He's a fucking
Look,
bully, mate.
Well,
No,
you
I'm
did,
not
you
a bully.
crossed
I'm
the
just
line.
speaking the
You
truth.
crossed
I'm
the
just speaking
line.
the truth. Yeah, he did. He did. Look, Reese highlighted that he has a very high disdain for social media.
You
So
shared
my
the necro
question,
quote.
my
Did you
question.
actually read that, bro?
Man, Necro, have you ever read his threads?
Yeah, man.
Deep in that shit, like. But anyway, sorry, Vinno.
We're about to get deep into Reese's threads. So, Reese, I suppose it.
You mean clothes when you say that? His threads? Can you leave him alone, Vinno? It's not high school anymore, Vinno. Okay? You can't torture us anymore.
Like, this
Reese, what is? I know, and I hate it. Anyway,
Before
Reese.
Vin Diesel, you know.
What
there was
is-
there was another big Vinno on campus.
Reese, where has your hate for social media come from, and why is it so strong?
Oh, I don't know, man. I just hate how much it controls everybody. It fucking does my head in. And I think I don't know. I think it's come a lot from like, I guess going through periods of time, like not seeing friends for long periods of times. And then when I did, like, I just get sick of seeing every cunt staring at their phone.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. I don't know. It's probably heaps boomer of me, but like just not enjoying things in the moment and being, and like, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. We're all guilty of it. You know, like.
No, to a degree we're not, man. If you went to a show right now, right, or you went to a years ago, Reese, Nathan McKenzie that we mentioned before, myself and another good friend of ours, Fergus Walsh, went and saw Pennywise at Luna Park, right? And that was one of the best weekends of my life, I'll say. There was a lot of memories there. But there was not one phone held up during that show, was there? Like
no, and I've got no photos or anything of that weekend.
You've just got the memories, right?
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I notice what you're saying now with social media, where you see, you know, someone playing live, and there's all these fucking lights shining back at them. Everybody on their phone, and recording it. They're missing the atmosphere. They're missing the moment because they're too busy trying to get the likes. You know, is that what you're getting at?
I was here. I was here. Look at me.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
it's kind of like I just don't understand the justification that everyone needs. You know, like I did this, but did you really do it if you didn't share it? Like it's like, well, I don't know. I guess. And I mean, like I said, we're all guilty. I'm guilty of it. I've done it over the years, and I guess as I've gotten, I don't know if it's just getting older or whatever, I kind of don't really give a fuck about it that much anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of, I don't know, man. It bugs me, and I hate that you get caught in the trap of wasting so much fucking time on it too.
Scrolling.
It's just
it's a time killer, I suppose.
Yeah.
For me, the thing that annoys me about it is it's become so much a part of society that, nothing can happen without it being social media. Like, don't get me wrong, it's got its good aspects and it's got its bad. We obviously use it because
good things too,
we use it to promote our thing, and I hope it is only used to promote it so that, people aren't spending their whole time looking at our Instagram, which we know they're not. And if you do...
People should spend their whole time
because it's terrible. No, but...
Yeah, they should.
It shouldn't. It's become
a phone now. Go to YouTube, watch Fireside Yarns, watch the same episode straight after on Spotify. Just let it ruin your life. You don't need to go outside.
Pull your ears.
We'll go. Yeah. What a vicious man. But let us go outside, and we will report back to you what's going on.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But
there's some good sides to it. Yeah, there is some good sides to it.
Look, I think there's a lot of positive aspects to it, right? But it gets abused to a point where, you've got influencers. Like, what the fuck is that? Like,
I like that it's given a lot of creative people an outlet to put things on the internet that we laugh at and that sort of stuff. And music is a lot easily, distributed now. So there is a lot of good things to it as well. And I find now that, like, I'm a bit older, like, I don't really give a fuck about random followers and shit. Like, I pretty much don't accept anyone that I don't like or
don't know
anymore. I don't really care about what other people are doing that I don't really know. I more use it as a tool to see things that I'm interested in or things that I'm trying to learn about or just things that I find funny.
Well, stay in contact with people is the biggest thing.
And I guess to a point though, like, it takes away a lot of conversation as well, because, like, when you see people that post every second of their fucking life, like, when you see them in person, it's like, what do I have to talk about? I know everything you've been doing because I just got to look at your internet. Like,
hey man, I did this. It's like, yeah, I know.
I know. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've seen that. What's next?
Yeah. And then so that the conversation turns into, what have you been up to, man? Oh, not much. So,
Yeah.
you know, like it's just.
Look, I think it's.
Oh, you saw that? How come you didn't like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's that,
that's weird that you saw that. How come I didn't get a care react, motherfucker?
It's that chase for likes that I hate. It's that, you know, everybody's wanting the most likes and they want to get viral and they want to...
15 seconds of fame, dude.
Yeah, but it's a fake aspect of it as well. You know, no one ever puts up what's happening right now. They only put up the good, you know, when things are going good.
And that's why it's a dopamine hit, man.
It is.
Yeah.
Isn't it only just heightening what we already have? I mean, we talk about celebrities and influencers. Back to Elvis, it's like, oh, you did his hair this way, I'm gonna do my hair this way. Madonna, like you name the person, the influencers or whatever. We always had a graph for celebrity or royals or whatever they were doing. Now there's just more.
Yeah, but those people had talent. Those people had talent. So you look at Elvis, see, he was a singer.
Well, he never wrote a song. What song did he write?
Doesn't matter, he could sing it. He might not be a songwriter, right? And this is a different look. This is a different topic because singers and songwriters. But he had a talent. What annoys the fuck out of me is these people that have just got no talent at all, right? And people have said, "Oh, it's because you've fucking got a rough head on you that you hate these people." I don't hate them. I dislike that somebody can just put some of the dumbest shit online, and it might be stolen, right? It might be a stolen thought. It might be a stolen, say, dance, something like that, something that's been recycled. And all of a sudden they're an influencer and they've got the power to say whatever they like, and people follow it. People follow it. Not only follow it, but they eat it up and they'll do whatever that person says. Okay?
But before that, you just watched on television whatever a company told you to watch.
Magazines.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same. It's kind of been chosen for you.
Another platform for the same shit.
Yeah, I suppose.
People have access to it.
These people are getting famous not because Apple or Sony, BMG, or Universal Studios are pushing them. People are just going to them. So they, you know what I mean? And then about sharing pictures of yourself.
Why?
People ain't what they post to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like Diana. You know, whenever she had a fucking outfit change and a hairstyle, short hair was then the 90s women. Like and it just
but I think
is that a talent or
the icon and the drawing aspect there was her good nature and the work that she did to change the world, right? That drew people in. They wanted to be like Diana because she was a good-hearted person, right? And then you can argue against that again.
Okay, well, here's a question for you.
Okay.
On topic of Diana.
Would
you rather know when you die or how you die?
Neither.
When. If I had to pick one, when. Because how, then that's scary. Dying is scary. Being dead, it's like, well, like, I don't remember what it was like before I was alive. You know what I mean? Like, but dying is scary. Am I fucking getting crunched up? Am I, you know what I mean? Am I getting eaten?
Look, I
when am I getting eaten? At least if I know when it is, it's like, you know, I'll take the heroin 5 minutes before I fall asleep, you know, and then let the Balrog take me.
Let it happen. Yep.
However,
I'm with you on that one. I agree. I would like to know when.
But then if it's like it's in a car crash, then I'm never getting a car ever. You know, if it's like, oh, you're going to fall out, it's like, well, then I'm never doing that. And then somehow I know.
But if you know when it is, are you going to try and change that?
You can't.
Say if someone said to you...
That's the catch.
You can't, because you know when.
How you die or when you die.
Yeah.
And you can't change it. So if it's how you die...
I wouldn't want to know either.
Well, neither.
Look, you have to choose.
If you have to choose.
No, look, personally, like I've been...
You have to play.
He's just avoiding the question.
I don't.
You have to choose one.
I'll be honest, right? I've been in a couple of situations, and they have been while I've been out at fires, okay, where I have thought, this is it. I've flat out thought, okay, this is it. And if I knew when, that would change what I'm doing at that time, I think. If I knew how, that would change, like Dave said, what I would be doing. I wouldn't want to know either, because
It's the same for both.
just say if it was to say I was to die on a particular day that, I'll use it. If I'm at a fire and that's the particular day that I'm going to die, I don't want to know that, because that might change what I'm doing on that particular day. Because I already
If
know.
you change, that's probably why you die.
And that's right. So if you have that,
Regardless, you're going to die at the same time.
but if
It
I
doesn't
choose
matter
a
what you
different
do.
direction, and
You're still going to die.
you don't know that, do you?
You do, because you know when you're going to die.
Do you know for certain? This is an in-depth
Of course
conversation.
you do. Would you rather know when you die or how you die?
I don't want to know either.
Answer.
But you have to choose one. If you know when you're going to die, it doesn't matter what you fucking choose to do.
Do I get the
you're dead
choice?
at that
Do I
time.
get the choice on how I die, or I just get to
No.
choose?
Choice.
No, you don't.
I'm not answering that question.
No. Because
You
if
can't
you
bully.
go-
You can't bully me into answering that question.
Oh, look, no, but that's the whole idea.
Can't
of
bully the bullier.
would you rather? He's like, yeah, look, he can give it, but he can't take it.
I'm not answering that question.
Because there's some real hard would you rathers. You know what I mean? And that's an easy one, I think.
nah.
Because it's like,
I've got a harder one for you.
Oh, look, it depends on how
Like,
deep. It depends on how deep you go into that one. But no,
Well,
I don't want to know
I'm gonna-
either. I don't want to know
I'm gonna
I
either.
don't know either. But if you had to, you know what I mean? That's if the whole idea is if you had to. No, there's
When
two,
or how, Vinno?
Huh?
When or how?
you got to choose.
So you got to choose.
This episode's not going to continue until I answer this fucking question, is it?
Tick, 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 tick.
Agreed. Great.
Okay, look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be in agreement that I'd like to know when,
Yep.
but preferably I don't want to fucking know either.
Because if you know when, then it's cruisy up until there. You're going to be
When,
Arnold
man,
Schwarzenegger fighting those fires. You're going to
Like,
I don't know.
seriously, if I found out I was going to die next year, I'd quit my job today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
You'd live it. You'd live the life.
And
wouldn't
do you know what? Fucking 3 days before I was going to die, I just go on a flat out heroin binge.
That's what, yeah. So I want to try it. What's so fucking, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'm
You-
supposedly
I
the
would only
fucking
touch
drug
heroin
dealer.
if I knew I was going to die.
Yeah.
What if you died from heroin, though? So you don't know how you're going to
It's a
die.
win-win.
If they say you die from heroin, then
But
you've never had heroin.
hang on. All you know is when you're going to die, right? So if the
That's right.
date that
You
you
don't
were
know how.
given, the date that you were given is say 2 weeks from now, but the reason you died is because of a heroin overdose, and you only started taking heroin 3 days
Because
before
you
you fucking
die.
died. It's like it's
You're
a
gonna
fucking.
die anyway. You're going to die
It's a
anyway.
trip
How?
out, man.
You
It's
just
that's
know
what I
when.
mean. It's a trip out. Like it's
But it's
fucked
much
up.
better than if they say you're going to die from something like a fall, and you don't know when, man, you're going to be like, I'm staying on the ground forever. For the rest of
Exactly.
my
You're going to live in fear.
You could fall when you're 93 off a fucking stoop. You know,
Yep.
you don't know. So you're like fucking walking around like Spider-Man, you know, touching the walls. You know what I mean? You're going to act. But at least if you know the date, you're like, well, now I know what to do before that date, which is have some fucking fun.
Okay,
So
I agree
Imagine,
there.
imagine if you knew that you were going to die in 2 years' time, you could go out and snort like fucking 8 grams of cocaine this weekend knowing you're not going to overdose.
Reese is. You're at Fireside, young.
Reese has
We
won
do
me
not condone these.
Reese has won me over. I mean, all of the coke.
All the coke.
Right.
Just be Tony Montana every weekend knowing that you're not going to die.
People are going to think we're fucking drug addicts or something.
We are not.
On to the serious questions, though. Chicken or cheese twisties?
Cheers.
Neither.
Silly. Don't be silly. Fake.
Well, you can't
Fucking
answer
hate-
neither for every fucking question, you
Yeah,
know.
they're dumb questions.
For the record.
If you said Doritos, right? Nacho cheese or fucking Supreme.
No. I said that was my next question. Was Doritos or CC's? But you've ruined that now. Chicken or cheese twisties?
cheese.
Had the choice, cheese. Chicken, chicken is a shit flavor. Right?
Yes,
Fuck
agreed.
off.
Agreed. Chicken
If
is
it's
with salt
chicken,
and
if it's
vinegar.
chicken chips, right? And when people say, "Oh, it tastes like chicken," nothing fucking tastes like chicken. Chicken tastes like chicken.
Everything
You
tastes like
can't
chicken.
replicate chicken, right?
Turkey tastes a bit like chicken.
but it doesn't.
I love chicken twisties, man.
You would.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
would.
thanks.
You would. Yeah, but you can put, you know, I think cheese is like cheese and onion in that type of crisp, chippy snack. I think cheese wins.
See, I think
Don't
cheese.
get me wrong. I love cheese. I love cheese.
Cheese should be the
twisties.
baseline for everything, not chicken.
You would say that.
Dairy, I think, because Pringles, sour cream and onion. Sour cream and onion's the shit in all flavors.
Yeah.
And it's all dairy.
Salt and vinegar. No, it's salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar.
See, I don't really go much on salt.
I don't like salt.
Yeah, you
and vinegar,
wouldn't.
I think. Oh, will you leave him be, Vinno?
Shots are fired, eh?
People are
Hang on, it's all right when
you.
you say it, right? And I'm going to highlight this when I edit this
just
shit.
said it.
I'm going to highlight this.
Oh shit!
You just said it, but when I say it, it's bad.
Doritos.
Straight up Doritos.
Doritos. Yeah. Well, even this CC's.
That's an obvious. Yeah. Doritos every day of the week. Yep.
Who's who growing up or ever? Who do you think the hottest movie star is ever?
Oh, Drew
I think
Barrymore.
it's Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, good
Barrymore.
pick.
I go Michelle.
No.
Pfeiffer.
I remember when
Susan Sarandon, old school Susan Sarandon, but Michelle Pfeiffer, I think anyone can hit that.
No, it would either be Drew Barrymore or Catherine
I think you should
Zeta-Jones.
probably ask. I think you should ask her if anyone could hit it before you assume that.
I did actually. So why do you assume I haven't?
No, look, Drew Barrymore in Charlie's Angels
Yeah, man.
was fucking hot. But then Catherine Zeta-Jones,
Zorro.
especially in Zorro, man,
Zorro,
like,
yeah,
holy fuck.
And
even Entrapment, man, yeah.
Entrapment's the main one.
Yeah, I used to have a massive celebrity crush on Catherine Zeta-Jones, man.
I used to have a big thing for Alicia Silverstone when I was younger.
Yeah, man. Back
Yeah, but you would.
And Clueless. And she was beautiful.
Clueless, man.
Actually beautiful.
Batman and was it Batman and Robin or Batman Forever that she was in?
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin with Mr. Freeze.
Robin, and Batman and Robin had Batgirl.
Yeah.
Batman Forever was Two-Face,
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey as
Chris O'Donnell as Robin as well.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey as Riddler. Yep.
Yeah, it was that was probably the best one.
Val Kilmer. Fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man,
One of the best. One of the best. Actually, I'd put it as the best out of that series at the time.
that era.
Yep.
Yeah. I saw that in the movies. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I did too.
I had it
Actually,
on VHS.
actually I've got a photo. So we went to Movie World a couple of years after that release, and I actually got a ride in that Batman car, the Batman Forever car.
Yeah,
I've got
I
a
did
photo
that
of
at Movie World as well.
Yeah, man. Got
Same
pulled out
thing.
of the crowd and shit. Yeah.
So good,
Fucking
so
unreal.
good.
But I got the photo there, and
They pulled you out of
yeah, man. So we like
kids bullying other kids. Because a Batman.
I had the Batman show, right? And I was up the front, and the Batman was going along and like waving at everybody. And I had a Batman shirt on because we'd been on the Batman ride, right? It had just come out.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and he said, he stopped at me and he went, "Do you want to come for a ride in the car?" And I shit myself. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, fucking off I went, jumped in the car with him, and Robin was driving the car. We went and did a lap around the fucking square there and got dropped off. It was fucking awesome. But yeah, mum got a photo of me in the car. So, but that Batman Forever car. Yep.
That's sick.
Awesome.
That is sick. That is so cool.
Yeah.
You got some would you rathers, Davey?
I have one, but I don't even want to say.
Say it.
Nah, get it out. Let's get it out.
Because everything else has been too serious, like too okay. So
All right, okay. I'll warm you up then. I'll warm you up then.
If you can,
here we go.
get to that stage where I'm like nearly there, then I'll do it.
All right.
But fucking Dorito flavors, bro. Come on.
All right. No. I got you.
Right.
Would you rather fart every time you blink or grow a hair on your back every time you sneeze?
Grow a hair because I fucking rarely ever sneeze.
Because when does that stop? You think
Exactly.
I've have to fart and blink because I don't mind farting or blinking.
Yeah.
Farting pisses other people off. I think a hair every
Exactly.
time I sneeze would piss me off. Yeah.
Yep.
And then when it's
I'm with you on the farting, bro.
But hang on, you can get laser hair removal, right? So
you're gonna keep growing them, bro.
that doesn't matter. Like, just book appointments.
Just fucking get laser removal today. Sneeze 8 times.
Get a clipper. Set of clippers, man.
hypothetical says every time.
Every
You
time.
could be. Hang on, you could be a fucking
The money you'd be wasting.
Vinno's really not grasping the idea of these fucking statements.
No,
is he?
I'm just
not
in a
gonna
different.
answer that
I'm on a
question.
different plane of thought, right? Imagine just every time you blinked, you fucking farted. Because
Imagine-
the answer, like the addition to that is, you don't know how close that fart is to fucking pooing yourself, do you? So
But the statement is every time you blink, you fart. You don't shit, you fart.
no, but you fart, but right. So you could blink and fart, and then in between blinks, you fucking shit yourself because it's that close, couldn't you? Because
Mate, I could fucking go and need to shit myself between this beer and the next one. What's the difference?
hang on, what's the difference?
Like 5 times during this whole podcast.
The statement
Every
is...
time you blink,
would
have you seen? Hang on, Reese. Hang on. You know what I get like when I'm fucking tired, right? I'm fucking Blinky Bill. Can you imagine?
What do you think made
my
me think of this
colon would be
question?
overloaded, man. Like, it would be fucking.
What do
It'd
you
be
think
next
made me
level,
think of this
man.
question? It was
Yeah.
you going...
That'd be like an extended fart. Like,
You know what? I'm
But
thinking
only a
about
fart.
it more. I'm going to switch.
Really?
I'm going to switch. Because how many times do you sneeze a day?
Thank you.
Okay, I think I could shave every night 2 hairs.
Yep,
But if I'm to blink 60 times a minute or
man.
whatever,
Look,
that's a lot of fart.
Dave,
See,
I'm going to use you as an example.
Please do.
I'm going to use you as an example, right? Just say you were going for a political position or even a promotion at work.
Yeah.
Every time you blink during that interview, you fucking farted.
That's what I mean.
Look at Reese. Reese knows. Reese just worked it out, didn't he? Whereas a fucking hair. Look at him.
I just spat my beer everywhere just said, bro.
Yeah, like if you were going for an interview, even for your job, Reese, imagine if they brought you in and said, "Hey, mate, listen, you've been going really, really well," and the whole time you're sitting there going because you're blinking.
But think of it on the flip though. If you're sitting there purposely not blinking and they're going, "This cunt's a fucking weirdo. He hasn't blinked for like 5 minutes."
That's what. See, you've changed your tone, right? You're happy to go with sneezing.
Yeah,
You sat there and bullied me and said that I was fucking weird because I went down the different path from the start. But I've taken the logical answer.
No. But you went down the path of changing it, talking about shit yourself.
That was just trying to justify my answer.
A fart is bad, but a one hair sneeze because if I sneezed as often as I blinked, then it would be a different story.
Yes.
And I have hay fever. Okay, so full disclosure, this would affect me quite normal, more than the average bear.
You can take drugs to stop your hay fever to stop you from sneezing.
Yes, that's right.
So essentially, you're not growing hairs. You cannot take a drug unless it's
An
a legal
anti-blinking
drug that stops you from fucking blinking.
Right, there are some drugs that will stop you from blinking. How you going, mate? I don't want to fart.
Mate, I'm just trying not to fucking blink because if I do, I'm going to shit myself.
Fart.
Have I pushed you towards feeling a little more comfortable about your... No?
It's got to go. You got to go further, Reese.
All right. I've got a question. All right, it's more on the serious side.
No. We don't want to get serious.
No, I'm not getting serious. Look.
And difficult. Because mine, you will not be able. I'm telling you right now, if I say mine, I won't even be able to answer it because it's too horrible. I don't even want to say it.
Well, ask the fucking question.
You can't keep teasing us, dude. You
ask the question. Ask the question.
Because I'm always able to answer those, okay? I'd rather that. I'd weigh up the options, all right. But this one's unthinkable. I don't want to say it.
Ask the question.
Right. Would you rather shag your dad with your mom's mind or shag your mom with your dad's mind? Answer. Answer that shit. Answer that. It's unanswerable. I'm with Vinno on this one. Go on, Reese. What would you rather do, everybody?
Who the fuck put this guy on the fucking show?
I told you. I said, I remember, because I'm a motherfucker who loves that. Would you rather? I love
It's
would you
hurting
rather.
my head to think about this,
And someone
I'm
brought
going to
that
prove
up.
you wrong, and I'm
answering
going to
this.
answer you.
No,
I'm going to answer you.
Please don't answer. Please don't answer.
No, Reese's going to answer. Reese's going to
No,
answer.
you won't. No, don't. Look, this is one of the ones it's like the meaning of life. I don't want to know. You know?
All right, I've got a question for you, so to move on, because fuck that question.
No, you haven't answered the question, Vinno.
No, I'm not answering the question. I'm not answering.
No, wait. If Reese wants to answer.
Right,
No,
Reese,
no.
yeah, no, Reese, answer the question.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I can't.
No, you
I
can't.
told you.
No.
Let's moving on.
All right,
let's
I've
go
got a
back to
question
our
for you.
favorite Rio
What the
flavor.
fuck is wrong with you?
I've got a question.
That's the one that's always stumped me because someone said that to me one time. I was like, oh fuck yeah, I can't answer that.
Yeah.
All right,
Where do you go from
Question.
here, Vinno?
question. Did Biggie Smalls have any part of Tupac's murder?
No. Tupac was killed by Orlando Anderson and Keefe D. On the that's what happened.
This is a two-part question.
I think the whole East Coast, West Coast thing was so overhyped by the media, and it wasn't as bad as it was.
All right,
made
so
out.
who killed Biggie?
Well, Reggie Wright, who was an ex-cop who ended up doing a lot of security for Suge Knight and Death Row, reckons that it was a blood from the West Coast that did it
Yeah.
in retaliation. And he's all these people kind of
Through not knowing the whole story.
So, and a lot of the people that are involved in both murders of Tupac and Biggie are dead.
Yep.
So Orlando Anderson, who killed Tupac,
So many
shot
unanswered questions,
dead.
man.
all the cops know that he did it. Keefe D admitted he was in the car with him, and it was his cousin. Baby Lane was his nickname, Orlando Anderson. But Orlando Anderson was do you remember after the Tyson fight where Suge and Tupac kicked the shit out of that crip?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the lobby. Yeah.
That guy came back, they got their guns, and they rolled deep and they killed Tupac, and they tried to get Suge too. And that's just what it is. And the reason it never got, because these people can't talk. They can't talk about the gang shit, or they're dead anyway. And that's the same reason. Tupac was actually angry at Biggie because when he originally got shot, Biggie wouldn't talk about. He like all those guys had to be like, I don't know who those fuckers were that shot Tupac. But yeah, I agree with Reese as well. The whole West East thing, it was really a death row bad boy thing. But the big thing was to get was to separate and cut American hip hop down the middle, which was shit.
No, well, here's a different take on it, right? And this is you can class this as a conspiracy theory.
Time traveler.
Do you think with the East Coast West Coast fighting or rivalry, do you think that it was a push from, I suppose you would call it the deep circle or the deep state push to try and divide the black culture? Because that is a conspiracy theory that is out there that I suppose you would call it the deep state pushed for the divide, especially post Martin Luther King and the.
I don't think
social
so
justice
because
movement.
at the end of the day, divided or not, the culture's still there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's
So
the
the
benefit?
argument is that it failed, right? But the theory around it is that it was to try and disrupt the black movement about the time, right? In the sense of hip hop, with those two artists being two of the biggest at the time, and with the message they were portraying, that by eliminating them and causing the rivalry, it would cause it to implode.
Yeah.
So
But
that's
if
the theory
anything,
around it.
actually
I
did
don't
the
agree with
opposite.
that theory. Yes,
Yeah.
I think it's bullshit, and I think that yes, there is.
There's meat behind it.
Yeah,
Fred
look,
Hampton.
there's
You can look at CIA and government. It's all been, a lot of it has been declassified now with the Black Panther movement and the civil rights movement. The government
which was prior to it, yeah.
Discredit and cause disruption between community organisers, and you know, it led to a lot of deaths. However, I think that hip hop got too close to gang culture. I think that Tupac himself got too rah-rah for someone who was an art student major type of dude. You know what I mean? I think he got too rah-rah and wrapped up in the Suge Knight, Mob Piru, West Coast gang shit. And I think by getting involved in that stuff and having those people around him and that atmosphere, that's what got Tupac killed. I think the Biggie stuff happened after, because I think people felt like we look like we've been hit.
Yeah, it was retaliation.
And the fact that they had come out with, especially after the first time Tupac was shot, who shot you?
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff, you'd record
which was written before it even happened.
That's right.
It wasn't about Tupac.
No, it wasn't at
well,
all.
he was reluctant to actually
knew what they were doing.
release that. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
But Puffy knew this is perfect. Suge knew this is perfect. I'm gonna like.
This is
and then
going
the
to
magazines.
This is going to sell.
This will sell. So the source, and then as well, like you said, Vinno, there are people, the parental discretion advised, Tipper Gore types, that when they see, they're against hip hop as a culture anyway. So when they seen that stuff, they're like, okay, roll with it. Look,
that all come from the 2 Live crew as well.
Yeah,
winning that the fight in court about like which amendment is it, the free speech?
First Amendment.
Yeah, even Metal got involved in that with
Yeah,
Twisted Sister and all those guys.
He was the first person to challenge the state or whatever, and won. And it was the reason they started putting parental advisory stickers on music.
Yep.
That was the compromise.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
It became, here, if you were going to release a hip hop or metal album, you'd better earn that sticker. There was a time where I didn't buy shit unless they had that sticker.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you telling me I'm allowed to have this?
yeah,
But
100%.
I agree with Reese. It was part of the media, but I also think that it was a money making thing. It was a gimmick, and that actually leaded to a lot of real life deaths. Because again, people get tribalistic with, like I said, I love West Coast growing up. I was throwing dubs in the air, listening to fucking West Side Connection and Death Row. You know what I mean? I gave a fuck. And it's only when you got older and you drop that and you're able to listen to the conscious rap and appreciate the East Coast where it all started. And then that's when you really understand hip hop. But, you know, a lot of people got into hip hop because of that culture. And he was even in the movies, wasn't it? It was Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, classics.
Classic movies. But it was a whole culture of the 90s.
I mean, you mentioned that, I suppose, with those movies as well. It was an eye-opener for us over here as to the culture over there, because we didn't have the internet like it is today. You were exposed to that. So, you know, Boys in the Hood especially, I remember watching that and just going, fuck, you know, like...
Yeah, it's not a life we know about.
That's right, you know, especially... You know, in country New South Wales and Australia, you know, we didn't have that that exposure. So
yeah,
cool.
And in regards to that, like, would you rather $15 every time you bust a nut, or $30 every time you take a shit?
$30 every time I take a shit.
Do I shit more or bust a nut?
That's what I was thinking.
But you get double for the shit.
But you've got to bust a nut twice.
I'm like a one a day kind of man, though. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty regular with shitting.
Yeah, but not when it comes to nothing.
but hang on, you've got to go. Yeah, you've got to go twice a day as opposed to once. So
you say that like it's a challenge.
Yeah, look, it takes me about a day to get it even finished, mate.
It takes me about a minute.
Did you? No. I'm gonna fucking zoom in on that face during the editing.
I do. What was it? 15 for a shit or 30 for a shit?
No, 30 for a shit.
15 every time you bust a nut, or 30 every time you take a shit.
I reckon I could eat two shits out a day. I might even snap one off to make an extra 30.
I've done 2 today. So
There
I'm
you go.
60
You made
bucks.
$60. That's four wanks, mate.
Oh, yeah, but which are you having more fun at?
Oh,
Would you rather make money doing something you love or have a shit
I love
job?
shitting too, though. Just be,
Yeah, but shit's shit, isn't it? Yeah.
Wait, what if you have a schwank?
No, but you're not doubling up. You still.
What if you shit and wank at the same time?
Am I getting paid for both?
Hey,
That's
Reese,
$45,
my
bro.
question,
I
where
don't
did you
think I
learn
could
that
call
term
my-
from? Where did you learn the term schwank from?
Shit, wank, schwank. It's a mixture of the
Who
two.
taught you that?
That's grown up stuff. The shit smell is your excuse to be there for so long, right? What are you doing in there? Well, I'm shitting. Do you care to take a smell? You know what I mean?
Right, bro.
But I think it's kind of like sneezing. You know what I mean? Like you can't. What's it? You can't sneeze and open your eyes at the same time. I don't think I could come and shit at the same time. You know what I mean?
You tried?
I've tried. No, but I will. My mum watches this.
I know she does.
All right, would you
And we
rather?
apologise. And we apologise. Speaking of your mum, right?
Oh,
I'm gonna go. No. It's not it's not a your mum
whoa.
joke. This is a question that leads to a story that she once told us, right? So when David, this is almost a fucking like you're on the stand.
Thanks
when
everybody for watching.
When you first came over here, is it true or
what do you mean
not?
came?
I'm getting away from that. When you first came to Australia, is it true or not that you used to put on high-vis shirts at the age of 15/16 and walk into the bottle-o and befriend the shop owner or the attendant and buy alcohol for the rest of us?
Me and Matt Sinclair, right? We used to dress. We change each week, and I would dress up, and we used to put on his dad's high vis, stepdad's high vis. We would walk in there, and you would spin car keys, and you would buy a paper. That'd be another thing. You go in there and buy a paper, as well as the beer, because it's like, oh, this fucker means business. No kid's gonna spend money. You know what I mean? But what fucked us is we would then on the weekend go play, and the publican, the fella who ran the Arfo, the ice box or whatever it is in Branksome,
Yeah, the ice box,
would come and watch the games, and we'd be like, fuck. I don't think he cared, because he's like, fuck, here's somebody buying shit.
Yeah.
He probably got his gun out first. Who's there? Yeah, you a customer or are you robbing the place? But, we used to do that. I remember, and you'd get a largie as well. Like you'd do a couple of things to be like, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna ask him about his day, and with confidence, spin me car keys. Why would you have car keys if you couldn't drive? And yeah, so we would do that. That is true.
It is true, because I remember your mum telling us out the back of your place there at the Heights about when you first came over, doing that sort of shit. It was fucking hilarious. I thought it was genius.
I love that.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Used to
asked
have
that
people at
question.
school that used to go up to Tommy Tucker's to buy me packets of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Man, that used to be me. I had my brother's ID. I used to go up there and buy. So a lot of my schoolies trip I paid for from Durry sales from year 11 and 12. So I had my older brother's ID. I go up to Tommy Tucker's and buy a 50 pack of Horizons. They were about 19 bucks at the time, man.
Bro, I
And
remember
that was
when
what I used to
like
sell.
25s and 30s, I used to smoke for less than $10, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, that was, see, I smoked.
And I used to smoke like
PJ.
Dunhill Blues or Benson and Hedges, bro. Like,
Yeah.
And
yeah, bro.
choice.
Dunhill Blues were my fucking Dunhill Blues and Benson and Hedges Smooths. They were my two
Remember?
go-to.
Horizon Reds. Remember that? Oh.
PJ Goals
I never
were
lowered
my
myself.
I had to. When you were going to the parties on the weekend, you'd need the Horizon Blue, the Horizon.
Didn't care.
No.
Didn't care. I still used to get.
See, I
Benson
used to
Hedges.
be able to buy out of selling a 50 pack of Horizons. I could buy a fridge pack of Woodstocks and a packet of PJ Rich, and still have change out of that, and go to a party, And that was how I fucking pay for my schoolers trip, is because I'd sell the 50-pack of Horizons for $1 a smoke and then be able to fucking bank some of that plus stock up my
wheeling and dealing.
Mate, wheeling and dealing.
I used to get them off Nick Buckton. I used to buy
So that was my
like,
competition. Competition.
Here, well, you got it. You didn't market yourself properly, mate.
No, you were a dog. No, I only started dealing in year 11 and 12, so that was after you guys all left. Yeah.
You just said that, eh?
I only got into that life. How did you get out of that life? You know.
Yeah.
How did I get out of that one?
Methamphetamines to Hitler in the past.
Yeah. It's like, I would get smashed with Hitler. Yeah. I'd bully baby Hitler. That's probably why he ended up this way.
Yeah, it's all Vinno's fault.
Yeah, blame me. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like,
because of you, Vinno.
I'm through me fucking getting through me naked grouse, so I don't give a shit.
Naked grouse,
man. So Rin,
can we get some nuance?
Whenever I send Rin or ask if Rin can grab me a bottle of scotch while she's down at the shops, she's been in the mood of just getting me something different each time, which I'm okay with because I've tried some really, really nice scotches. And if you guys have a suggestion for some scotches that you'd like me to fucking try, I'm down for it. But so yeah, she got me this naked grouse, and it's actually really fucking nice. She hasn't let me down yet. Not that I'll be let down by any scotch, but this one's actually really smooth and quite nice. So yeah,
I've never been a scotch drinker. Really, I can't get it. I mean, there was a little period where I tried to, but yeah, as a whole, scotch has never really been my jam.
Yeah, it's a bit like, man, I used to love me fucking beers and stuff, but yeah, over night time now, yeah, definitely. If I drink, like people probably think I'm an alcoholic because every time we do an episode, I'm fucking drinking. But it's about the only time that I do.
I'm pretty sure we're always drinking.
Yeah,
it's not just you,
man. Look, it's
apart from the daytime episode when it was just you. But
hang on. In my justification there, I had just finished fucking night shift, so it was my afternoon.
You don't need to justify that because I understand.
That was the origin of. And if you don't like that, you can get the fuck out. I love that, man.
It's the guy.
I live my life by that now.
Yeah, mate, it's a good motto.
I don't like it.
Get the fuck out. We're too old to deal with bullshit. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. So, if you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Tacos.
Lasagna.
Oh, good choice. Wow, two good choices.
Has to be Italian. My favourite food is either spaghetti bolognese or lasagna. And I know they're very similar.
Boy, I made a very mean spaghetti the other night.
No,
I make a good spaghetti, bro.
Tacos or nachos?
Right? So you're Mexican. You go Mexican.
Yeah, Mexican's probably my favorite cuisine too, bro, to be honest.
They're up there with me because you got your burritos as well. Fuck.
Yeah, I love burritos. See, I'll take burritos over tacos. I do like tacos, though, every once in a while. I like having the crunchy.
Would you take it over lasagna?
Oh, crunchy or soft?
Yeah, see, like if I'm having tacos, it's got to be crunchy.
Yep, yeah.
Otherwise, it's just like a fucking half-folded burrito.
It is. It's a burrito, isn't it? Yeah.
Enchilada.
Yeah. Enchiladas are good though.
I'm a bit seasonal, I will say. Like, I'll say tacos straight off the bat, but if it's cold, I do like cottage pie or a stew or something like that. Man.
Yeah, good stews always. And
I suppose that comes from, like, in winter, I mentioned before about polo cross. Mum used to make up a stew probably, I think, the Thursday or Friday night, depending on which day we were leaving, in a big pot, right? And we just throw that over the fire. And
fuck yeah,
man, it was. Sorry.
No, I'm looking to throw it. I know about stew.
Yeah, you would. But
it's disgraceful.
Do you reckon he knows about potatoes?
Hang on, who's bullying now? I didn't mention potatoes, Dave.
Potatoes. It's like what do you mean? We didn't have them. That was the problem.
Potatoes.
Yeah, like on a cold fucking night, especially when camper, man, nothing beats a warm stew or a cottage pie or something like that. You know, like
yeah. camp oven stew on the fire with a fucking tinny and a
that's all it was,
curry.
man. She used to make up the stew, right? Dad had a big camp oven. He'd throw that on the hot coals. Stew would go into that and warm it up, but then it would get that smoky flavour and the flavour from his camp oven. Fucking unreal.
That was actually one thing I did when I did the bushcraft course. Was we made this wicked kangaroo stew, man. Holy fuck.
Yeah,
dude, how good is kangaroo when it's cooked properly, though?
And also, like, cooked. There were, I think it was the second night, we cooked our dinner literally in the ground.
A hungy.
Kind of like a honey?
No,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but not wrapped in foil or nothing. Literally just in the ground.
No, dude. A traditional hungy
Like,
isn't in foil, obviously.
Yeah, it was
Have
delicious,
you ever,
man.
Have you ever had traditionally smoked kangaroo?
No.
I
So-
haven't.
So you get Pop showed us, right? Iron bark or paper bark.
Yeah.
And you have you build your fire, and then you build like call it a frame, and you lay paper bark on top of it, right? So that the flames are just licking it. So it's not catching fire, but it's smoking it, right? Then you lay your meat on top of that, so it's getting the heat from the fire, but it's getting that smoked flavour from the paper bark. And man, like if you're
Same with using paper bark, man. You wrap fish in paper bark and bury it in coals.
So he used to do that with eel. So freshwater eel. So we used to pull those because on the farm we had like yellow belly and silver perch in the dam, but occasionally we'd get the odd eel out, right? And he'd fucking pull that out, and yeah, man, he'd eat the eel and stuff like that because he came from Tinga originally, a mission in Tinga. So seafood for them was eel and freshwater fish and stuff like that. So he loved eel. If we would go fishing out at Lake Sinclair and stuff, you'd get the big eels, man. He'd froth showed us how to skin them, nail them to a tree, skin them, and then smoking kangaroo, those sorts of things. But the flavour, dude, unreal. Magician in his own right.
Around with it too much, you know what I mean? It's like, I guess with food nowadays, we season it so much and we mix it. And
man, the only
that's
seasoning was the traditional smoke from that fire, man. To me, you don't need anything else.
Everything cooked on a fire is better, dude.
Wood fire, yeah.
Open fire, yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, but that was a really interesting concept because it was in high school that we got asked that question of have you tried smoked kangaroo and stuff or tried kangaroo, and I went, oh yeah, I have, and it was the same. So,
what other Aussie animals have you had? I've had possum. I've had
really.
So
I've had a possum terrine. Fucking believe it. And it's
I can't have goanna. I've never tried goanna, and I can't because it's
I've never tried
family totem. So there's a bit of a story, and I'll tell you guys later, but I'm not going to mention it here because my uncles will tell that story. But about goanna and where one of my uncles was sort of confronted with family totem and why he couldn't eat it and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we can't have that. Other people have, and I've been on ventures sort of up north and stuff where they've sort of said, oh, what have you eaten and what's your totem? And they've been eating goanna, and I said, no, I can't have that. Not fully understanding why, knowing that I can't, and that's just my lack of traditional knowledge there. But it's been explained to me over the years, so I understand now. But at the time, I was like, yeah, I just know I can't have that, but I'm not sure why. So
yeah, right.
It's interesting. It's really, really interesting, man. Sorry?
If you have a croc and...
Yep, yeah. I've had a crack at that.
I've tried crocodile pies.
Yeah. There's that place on the highway that does the pies from everywhere.
Red Ned's does them.
Yeah, I was going to say Red Ned's at Nelson Bay. That's where I had the croc pie. Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, so...
kangaroo is a beautiful meat. There's a weird sweetness. It's a gamey meat.
It can be overcooked very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, you just sear it, really.
Yeah, it's there is a way to cook it, and slow cooking it is the best essentially because
Eat the juices.
yeah, it's quite a nice meat, but yeah.
Sourced as well, generally. You know, they're culled animals that fucking live a life, you know? They're not factory farmed in that sense.
Yeah, well, there's laws and stuff around. I mean, we were talking about the shooting and stuff last week, but there's rules around even hunting them and stuff like that. So,
Funny you mentioned the goanna, but not eating it because it's your totem. Yep. Whereas Australia is one of the only countries on earth that will eat its national emblem.
Yeah,
depending on where you're from, and this is where I come back to like the tribal aspect. So, your totem you can't eat, right? And if you're there's several depending on where you are from, man. Like, and the different species of kangaroo, right? But there's. So it's in depth, and I could be getting this quite wrong for depending on what country you are from. When I say country, I mean what we refer to as white people as tribes, right? You've got a tribal totem, and then you've got a family one. Okay, so that will depict or determine what you can and can't. You're eating your family, essentially, right? So you've got a lot of these coastal countries. They will have completely different totems, and this is where the misunderstanding and just the flat out neglect as far as white people comes from, in the sense that they're going over coal and over just they just take everything without respecting where it comes from, and that's where that traditional culture is. It's respecting and understanding of the land. Having that tie to that region in the sense of that animal. So
are goannas like generally bullies as well, or
is that why you are like you are?
You're treading on some fucking rough ground. Fuck, man, if I tell Joey about this, she'll come up.
Yeah.
But look, and it's not just New South Wales. So I've got a friend in Queensland who they've got a different species of goanna as their family totem, so they can't eat that. So it's
like you were saying with the difference. Yep. So white people that came to Australia, they're generally of a Christian background. So whereas Indigenous people, they're like, this is our family totem. We've got to respect this animal. Whereas us Christians, we're like, well, we eat our own God. This is the body of Christ, motherfucker. Like,
So
it's just a different level, isn't it?
That argument can be used as far as Indians as well. With cattle, and pork, with Muslims and those sorts of things. There's sacred things, throughout each religion, and I think the biggest thing is, especially in our day and age, is getting to understand those. Even if you don't believe it, have an understanding of that. And this is where the big argument is with Indigenous cultures, right? It's just seen as you're fucking gold bludgers and that. Fuck, like the history there of people being taken off country and taken away, and the spiritual connection there, been putting missions and culture's completely destroyed.
Yeah, just because I recently,
not only that, man, like I recently had a question asked to me by somebody, and they said, isn't just being Aboriginal. And I went, look at it this way. You look at Europe, how many different countries are in Europe, right? It's a continent, but there's so many different countries. Now you look at Australia, and if you think about that the same way with Indigenous cultures, right? It's not just Aboriginal people. They're different countries. They're different cultures. They're different languages. They're different totems. They're completely different but at the same time, they might look the same. You know, Europeans, they're all, majority of them white. Yeah. So if we went over there and went, oh, you all look the same, so you all must be the same. You know, if you went to Germany and said, oh, you guys must speak English, you know, because you're all white. That's the same.
English, yeah.
That's the same view that has been given to Aboriginal people in Australia, right? Oh, you're all black, so you all must speak the same, which is not the case, you know. Like,
No.
and it is so in depth once you start to get into the culture. And when you look at the trade routes, when you look at the way that they operated and the way that they maintained their culture, the way they looked after the land, we've got a hell of a lot to learn, but we choose not to because with white and Western culture thinks it's better than that. You don't survive for 40,000 years without knowing a thing or two about the land and where you are from and
Sustainability.
Absolutely, man. And Dave asked me this question a few weeks ago or even more longer than that, when we first started Fireside Yarns about the fire culture in Australia and fire maintenance in Australia. And especially
It's
after
huge.
the last fire season. Yeah, with the talk about the way Indigenous cultures maintain the land in regards to bushfires, right? And the last, I'll say 20 years, because that's where I have really noticed it with my involvement with the Rural Fire Service and I suppose the last 20 years with the Black Saturday fires and recent ones, and plus the fires in between. It's been quite vocal and quite open about the way the Indigenous cultures prefer to have their land maintained, and that's been taken away from them because of we know how to do it better, so you just shut up, you know. We need to go back to listening to these people, especially the elders, because that
They've been doing it
culture
for so long.
it's been passed down, man. And every area in Australia is different. You know, you go to mangrove areas and it's different to inland areas. You know, there's different plantations.
Even the breeding and stuff they do up in like Arnhem Land and shit.
Man, it's different. It's completely different areas, you know, and the people that know that best are the traditional cultures. Why not listen to them? You know, why not?
Because people are ignorant and arrogant.
Arrogance is the thing, man. And it's that we know better. You know,
it doesn't fit the narrative. I mean, here's the thing. It suits us to have Indigenous culture, like you were talking about before, to think about it as dull bludgers.
Yeah.
Think about them as having problems with addiction and being unable to hold down jobs. In any country that this a colonizer goes to, they do that with the native people. Yeah. With Ireland, what are we? We're drunken, fighting, stupid.
Absolutely, man.
Irish jokes. You know what I mean? Like you think they come to the country and they decide that they make you the idiot. Yeah. But here, it took us 700 years, Vinno, to get back our country. How long have Indigenous Australians been occupied?
Man, it's only been since the 60s since Indigenous Australians have been actually, I think it might have been the 60s or 70s, since they were not looked at as flora and fauna. So not looked at as plants and animals.
But when were they taken over?
Under law. Oh, dude, 1788, I think, was when...
Not that long ago.
No.
Their day will come. Their day will come when... Like, it took us 700 years. I hope it doesn't take Indigenous people that long.
I hope, because we've got so much
that we should have an Australia that is.
Yeah, we've got so much to learn.
Backward, you know.
Western culture has so much to learn from these, and it's not just Indigenous Australians. It's Indigenous Americans, with their culture, and I look at, and correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't been to New Zealand. I would love to go, but the way that New Zealand seems to promote Indigenous culture with the Kiwis and the Maori and, not the Kiwis, sorry, but the Maori culture and the pride around it with the haka at football games and those sorts of things. If we were even half of that, which we are starting to get to, But if we were half of that for the amount of time, you know, there would be that pride in it. And there is so much pride that can come from it. You know, one of the most beautiful things that you can hear is a didgeridoo on a silent night, mate. Like, because it's a spiritual thing. And
ancient.
If you actually clear, if you don't have that very narrow-minded aspect to it, the culture itself, depending on where you are from, very, very powerful. And even with the fire management side of things, what we can learn from that about each individual area, we can avoid so much heartache. You know, we don't have to be in a scenario that we were recently in the last few years where we've got fires from the whole East Coast. If that had been managed properly, it could have been completely avoided. Or 100%. Avoided to a degree if we had have just put aside the bullshit and gone and spoken to our local communities and said, how did you traditionally manage this area? Because you've been doing it for 40,000 years. How did you avoid such destruction? How did you avoid, you know, kids standing there asking whether Santa Claus was going to make it to their place because their house had been burnt down, you know, 3 weeks before Christmas? You know, how the fuck? Yeah, look, I
don't know how we don't put the money into it. I mean, to not just, there's knowledge in it too. Like, you're right, we should be, but that's an investment in itself, and then reprogramming it and reforming our firefighting capabilities. But we're Australia, we have bushfire fucking problems. You know what I mean? Like, we put all this money into defense, and I'm all for having a great defense system. But we should have for the type of country we are, we should have the best firefighting services. We should be held up high. We should be making sure what these need.
As far as training with the Rural Fire Service and the New South Wales Fire and Rescue, there is a hell of a lot of training. But yeah, I agree with you. There should be that Indigenous side. There should be that traditional aspect. There should be, and don't get me wrong, I haven't been involved in a training course for a basic level for a while. But there should be that for a basic level, even for school kids, you know, that are going through that early stage of cadets, going with an elder or someone from the local community and saying, right, this is for this area, even the neighbouring areas, this is the sort of fucking bushland that you're going to be dealing with. My first exposure to, and I'll use the example of the Putty, which is a very dense national park, very hilly. Wallamai, man, like Wallamai National Park. Look it up if you're not aware of it. But my first experience to that as far as a firefighter was the first day that I went out fighting fires when I was, like, a long time ago now, but I hadn't had the exposure, and if I had known what I know now back then, obviously, and everyone can say that, you'd sort of go, well, fuck, I'd deal with things a different way. But if you had that traditional knowledge of the area as well, you'd deal with it a completely different way. And I think that's what we're lacking.
It goes back to education still, doesn't it?
It does.
And it's not just about how to steward the land you're on with fires. Why not learn our history properly? Like, why not? Why not be
proud of it? Why not be proud of it?
Yeah,
100%.
Like we have the
oldest
culture on earth. Oldest country on earth to have creativity. Like, we can look back at, there were tools. Look at the monkeys using tools in Western society, and we think that's the stuff to look at. But the thing that separates us from the animals is our art and our creativity and our love, our expression. And Indigenous people of Australia have the oldest artwork. They have the oldest People talk about, they never invented the wheel. They're the first people recorded to do a spiral.
They didn't need the wheel.
Sticks that when you throw away, they come fucking back to you. No one on earth had even thought of that. Like, we were, mate, they were able to. You throw the stick, it's gone. All right, live with it. Get in your car and shut up. It's Christmas time.
But that's what I meant. That's what I mean about the trade routes and the society that had in themselves. And you know, you look at the Brisbane area. And the history there and the meeting places there, right? There was a meeting place for numerous countries or tribes to come together, and they'd all get put in different places because that was a meeting place and they would trade there, you know, and the lack of understanding that people have for that. Like I said, they just see them as black. They're all the same. They all sound the same. So they all must be the same when it's not the case. We've got a lot. We've got a lot.
Not long ago.
Yeah.
Flora and fauna.
Yep, we've got a lot to learn. We've come a long way, but we've still got a hell of a long way to go. And that general public perception, let me put it this way, and I might get a lot of dislike for this, or a lot of hatred. I've met more white dole-bludgers than what I have met Indigenous ones. And the difference is the Indigenous ones have got more flack than white ones.
Well, I grew up, that's why it never sat well with me. When I came over here, and I've spoken about this before, I was immediately accepted.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Immediately accepted as, oh yeah, you're Irish. My granddaddy was Irish. Daddy. Like yeah, and my kids will be Australian. And no one will question them.
Damien Nelson, man, I'll use that example. Damien Nelson in our school, who was probably the blackest kid, man. He copped shit, right, the whole way through. He was a pretty good footy player, man. Like, he was quick. I got along quite well with him. And I hope he's doing all right if, you know, he's getting around. But I got on all right, like, pretty good with him. He copped shit because he was black.
The racism here, like, when I moved there, I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't, because in Ireland, you think about, when I think of Australia, I think of the Indigenous people, you know, that's what we learn about. So when you come over here, it's like, oh my God. And there are people like, oh yeah, they're dole-bludgers. And in Ireland, like, I just grew up, it's like, yeah, well, white people. Because in Ireland, it's like 95% white people. So I know when I grew up, you know, working class and around poor people, and they're all white. And every time I've been robbed was by a white person. And any time, you know, I'd seen a drug addict, they were a white person. And alcohol issues, yeah, there are quite a few white people in Ireland with alcohol issues. Just like here.
It's not a...
So it never sat well with me, and I always knew it was bollocks. And it is an absolute shame. Piss break, and then we'll come back and probably wrap it up. Because we're doing hours now.
Welcome back. We're back.
Pretty impromptu. Oh, man, I needed it. It
was overdue. The beers are flowing tonight, boys. The beers are flowing. They're going down too easy.
I'm on the six pack right now.
I think there's a lot of questions.
Today.
I got a fridge pack though, so I'm ready. I was ready. Remember the old Woodstocks?
I've mentioned them before. Man.
Oi, I'll give you the hot tip, Dave. Vinno doesn't need a fridge because I'll never make it there.
That's right. Oh. Hey, shout outs to Benny Van Eyck. He knows that story. Actually, Benny's on the Jaeger train tonight. I saw it on Instagram, and I sent him a message that said fucking Jaeger train. I know, because you hate fucking social media. But, all right, so more questions. And I suppose the big thing is we want external input for this, don't we? Because if anybody has got any questions or things they want to know about any of the Fireside team, they should get in the comments or on Instagram or Facebook.
Well, just call me. Call me and let me know.
Call Reese. Let him know. Yeah. And ask us any of the questions, because there's probably going to be a few follow-ups to this.
I probably won't answer, but call me.
Yeah, no, you won't. Fucking hate social media. I suppose a big thing to mention is that Dave's been kicked off Facebook again, and that was where we thought we were all kicked off Facebook because of Dave.
I was the guy who did the bad thing.
Fuck Facebook, man.
Yeah, man. Literally, my brother commented it was Fight Night Round 3. If people remember that from old PlayStation 2.
Your place at Macquarie Street, mate.
Yeah. A mully bowl right in front of the TV. and we would play fight night or the rugby game. But my brother tagged me and it was like, oh yeah, we'll play this time. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to punch you in the face with the Muhammad Ali signature punch. And Facebook was like, violence, you're banned for 30 days. and I even ripped back and I was like, this is literally in a video game. It's my brother. And like, no, we've reviewed your, like, no, they didn't.
But here, watch this video of someone dying.
Yeah. Here's a picture of someone in Iraq exploding, you know, like, but I'm not allowed to pretend to fucking Sonny Liston punch me brother.
Virtually punch your brother, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
But
yeah, we thought that was the
Facebook.
case, but it ended up that we just
not the meta.
The metaverse. It ended up that we just didn't conform to wasn't a password verification. I think something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. So these boys flipped out. Oh, cool. Vinno just jumped on there.
Got the blame.
Yeah. Vinno just jumped on there and sorted it out. But
Hello, friend.
the next question that I was going to ask, it's in regards to Fireside Yarn. So, Dave, I'm going to shoot this one to you first, and I'm going to go to Reese.
Yeah, I'm getting forested a lot now.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
It's all right. I'm number one.
It's because you're the number one, yeah.
So, when we first spoke about this sort of thing, doing a podcast, and getting online with our good friend Bondi, and it was
in your belly.
Yeah. So it was about some different things about conspiracy theories. But did you think it would end up that Fireside Yarns would end up where it is now, even though we're still season one? Now, keep in mind that we are still season one. We've still got a lot of learning to do, and we are so happy that everyone's on board and enjoying it and giving us feedback. Jake, that I'll mention Jake because he's given us some really good feedback for this session especially. But did you think that we would be at this position that we're at, Dave?
Oh, we'd be further now, Vinno, to be honest with you. I thought we'd be running through like the Beatles. I thought people would be creating religions around us, the Fire Cityans.
Oh, what is it? How many people do you need to create a religion? Because that isn't religion tax free. We should probably do a Fireside religion.
Hang on, he just referred to everybody as the Fire Cityans. Like, what the fuck is that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
The Yarnigans. Yeah.
It wasn't even supposed to be Fireside Yarns to start with, was it?
There were COVID campfires.
Yeah.
It was taken.
I'm kind of glad that didn't happen.
Yeah,
though.
same.
Because it would have
It'd be very dated. It'd be dated.
Yeah.
So, do you think, are you happy with how it's going?
Ultimately, what I wanted from it all was I just loved what was happening. So whether it was after a different Jacobs in his wake when we were outside Reuters in backyard around the fire, and Reese was there as well. You know that feeling when we're all together? And then it was at Bondi's place as well. And I always just felt like, man, I love this, but I live far away. Fucking maybe we should do like a podcast. I'll get on, you know what I mean? And I'd start, and it was funny. And I thought people would like hearing us fucking talk shit. Just like that, because I listen to podcasts and I have for a long time.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I love about them. You're just listening to people talk shit and it mimics that type of thing. And but no, look, I don't even, and even now, it's not about like where are we going to go. Now it's become more of a hobby and a fun, exhilarating thing. It's like, and we're building skills up, and we're trying to put nuance and structure around it. Which is a whole new challenge, and it's fun in itself.
Which is crazy because we're trying to put structure in it by taking away structure and trying to it's
how do we
like
get more natural? Let's dot points on how we should be more natural about, you know. but we'll get there. Look, and look, you know, so we're not where we want to be right now, because obviously we want to just fucking. You know, we want to just.
We're still trying to find our niche.
Yeah. Do we turn it on and just chat, or do we have those? Do we do deep dives on certain topics? Like, and why not do all of them?
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe
like we said from the start, nothing's off the table.
Happy. Yeah, nothing's off the table. I think is a good idea, because and the whole
except for
Well, there's certain things.
Would you rather? That's off the table. I didn't even want to bring it to the table, but he's made me.
Yeah, look, we've drawn the line there. It's a good example of where we're going to draw the line.
Might be cool.
Reese, since you came on board with us, and it was the music that shaped this episode that really fucking got you antsy.
Yeah.
Since coming on board, man, is it what you thought it was going to be? Is it more? What's your experiences since being on Fireside Yarns?
Man, it's been awesome for one. It's definitely something that I look forward to every week now. Like, I mean, obviously it's awesome just having constant contact and talking shit with the boys. It's been awesome learning too. Like, even though like we haven't done any super, I mean, we've done serious subjects, but we haven't done like
the Afghanistan one prior to you coming on board.
Yeah, see, I haven't done any of that
COVID
yet, you know what I mean?
You were there for COVID, Reese, and that's mental health, which is arguably our most successful / serious topic.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think as a whole though, it's just been it's been a big learning curve for me, even though you had already kind of established yourselves before I came on board. And the fact that you said, like, and I agree with you 100%, that the music that shaped us episode was the one that made me go, fuck, man, like I wanted to be on it. And it's funny because Jake even said the exact same thing to me this morning about the last one. It was man, there was so many times where I was in that episode that I wanted to chime in and say something about what you were talking about. And then he even mentioned like a lot of the songs.
That's what the comment section. That's what it's for, Jake.
Yeah. But he even mentioned, Dave, like with a lot of the songs that you had during that episode, he was like, he went through it. He went back and listened to a lot of them. And he was like, holy shit, man, this is awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I guess he felt exactly how I felt, you know what I mean? And as much as I don't want to say it's our niche, like obviously music is a huge part of all of our lives. So it's always going to be a big factor of probably what we talk about. But, and I'm completely okay with that.
Fuck yeah.
But, I don't know. I feel like we're for the time since I've been in it, even, I think we've definitely grown, improved, and we've all gotten a lot more comfortable. And yeah, I really look forward to what we have or what we do moving forward. I think it's going to be fucking cool. It's yeah,
creative outlet, right? I mean, like you were saying, both of you were saying, when you take that, and I've always kind of been searching for this too, where there's recording music, little hip hop songs, and I recorded a couple of little songs that I put lyrics to, that were a bit embarrassing in hindsight. And,
we used one of your beats in a previous episode.
That was a beat.
Do you have a recording? Do you still have these?
He does. I've got them.
I've about 4 or 5 of them.
Well, maybe they should go in the credits at the end of this episode.
Definitely not. But
we'll leave that up to you, Mr. Vincenzo.
But the whole, like you were saying, you want to butt in. The best podcasts that I've loved, my whole time of listening to podcasts or whatever we called them before that, with Fat Man and Batman with Kevin Smith or Joe Rogan or any of these podcasts we listen to, H3. The best ones are the ones that you're so immersed in it that you try and butt in a bit. Or, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, this song, I love that song for that reason. Or you learn a bit and you want to go, fucking right, mate. You lose yourself in it.
The podcasts that I enjoy the most are the ones when it doesn't even have to specifically be about anything. It's just listening to people have good conversation. Like whether it be funny, whether it be interesting, whether it be, it doesn't matter. As long as there's good chemistry and people are, just conversing well, that's what I enjoy in a podcast.
And I suppose that's what we aim for. Absolutely. And it's natural with us because we all know each other and, we're good mates anyway and we all enjoy the same style of music, and we're all on the same wavelength as far as topics and stuff. So it makes it easy.
Yeah.
But the big thing that for me, I really enjoy hearing back from people, whether they are opposed to us or not. Like, I'm not going to get angry at somebody that's opposed to something, a view that we share on here. I enjoy that conversation. I enjoy hearing people's different perspectives on things, especially music, you know, because we are heavily involved in there. And like you touched on, Reese and Dave, with the creative outlet, you know, since, you know, with the family and stuff and moving forward and not having as much time for the band stuff as what I used to when we were younger, and having that creative outlet. This is our new creative outlet, and it's fun. I enjoy it. And I think everybody needs to have that. But being able to share that outlet with good friends and other people that we don't know that might be watching, and that, you know, later on we might be able to get to know through conversation and feedback and those sorts of things. I mean, I've never met Jake in person, but playing with him online with you, and then the feedback and even just a little bit of banter, you know, like, you know, there you go. It's a perfect example of what we wanted to develop here at Fireside Yarns. So,
you're right with the feedback. When we got the feedback from the mental health episode, but even the feedback from some of the people we knew from school, like with Kalia and a couple of the different people at that early to mid stage, you know, like all those hit backs, you know what I mean? It's amazing.
It all helps, man. It's all growth.
Yeah.
The best growth we can have is from criticism. You know, like
constructive criticism.
Constructive, you know, even, and I'll give a shout out to Jake from this afternoon. You know, before we started recording this episode, Reese sat down with us and told us about some of the feedback that Jake had given us, and we went, "Yeah, we know exactly what he's talking about there because we've already thought about it." You know, but and then there was a few things we went, "Oh yeah, that's cool." You know, this is season 1. We want this to be an ongoing thing. We enjoy it. Especially with Dave down in Canberra, you know, Reese at Newcastle, and me in Singleton with shift work and those sorts of things. It's going to be very hard to get together in person, and
but we are
once a week we make it happen.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm getting at. Like, we want this to continue, because even if you guys aren't listening, this is our way of getting together and keeping up with friends, keeping in contact. But if we can make people happy and give people a laugh in the process and educate people to a degree, or they can educate us in the process.
Make them ask questions so that they can educate themselves even.
Absolutely.
Like, I was interested in that. I might go have a little look myself.
Yep.
But disagreement.
Why is Dave such an asshole?
Well, we'll never know. There's no book that could teach you that. You have to live it. You have to live it. You have to be immersed in it to know, to truly embrace the arsehole.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, disagreements in the comment section, have it, love it. I love disagreeing and having different opinions with my friends. There's nothing more I love more than arguing about what's the best Batman movie, what's the best political policy.
We've had some disagreements. You know, we've been playing COD and had disagreements. Reese and I have had disagreements over the years. It brings you closer together. It gets it makes the connection stronger with the person. Plus, you get more involved with them because you understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, even last week, look, I'll use this as a perfect example with the gun talk, you know, where Reese said, you know, I will never kill an animal. I've known that for years. Reese's known my position on that for years. We don't hate each other.
Kill a goanna.
No. But we are still really good mates. And we have been for a long time, knowing that. Yeah. It's that respect and understanding of that position. And this is what I think we are losing a lot in nowadays society, is that respect of position.
Just because you have a difference in opinion
doesn't mean you can hate.
Connect,
You can still love someone.
Absolutely.
You don't agree 100% on. Like, I love so many people that I'll vehemently disagree with about so many different things. But I'll be like, you're my brother. Let's get along. This is our world. We're fucking in it.
Did you just admit to hating your brother?
No. I'm my brother. I meant you guys. My brother can go fuck himself. But you know what I mean. Like,
Colin,
me and my
I love you.
Shout out
I love
Colin.
you, man.
agree. Yeah, shout out to Colin out there waiting for us to get onto Call of Duty, but it's past midnight now. But fucking
On this undisclosed date.
yeah, the best thing you can do is to talk to your mates and and bounce shit off them.
Yeah.
Here, man, this is what I think. And fuck, he might go, well, fucking, I think this for this reason. And if you can't make peace with your enemies, then who the fuck are you making peace with?
You're only as strong as the difference
What's the
of
point in
opinion.
agreeing with you?
Yeah, you're only as strong as the difference of opinion that you're surrounded by. And the person that taught me that was my grandfather, Dad, who Dave and Reese had the pleasure of meeting.
I had a great convo with him at your wedding, man. I was in a
the
corner with
wisest-
him. Yeah, and I
the
love
wisest
picking
man I've
brains
ever
of
known.
the elders, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
So his outlook on things, you know, I wish I had have realised it a lot earlier than what I did. I'm glad I realised it as early as I did. But his outlook, he was above his times, or you know, so
He was a quick old man.
oh man,
He was fucking on the ball, man, for an older gent. Man.
Dude,
He was
he
old
was-
when I met him. He was
and
pretty old.
smooth. Do you remember my birthday that year when he walked in that back door and all the girls were at one end and us boys were at the other? And he's walked in and said, "Well, I know I'm going to stand up this end with all the girls." Legend, absolute legend. And look, miss him to death because he was a world of knowledge, fantastic man, and yeah, very much a hero of mine. So,
Shout out to
saying
Dad.
that, shout out to Dad, eh? Yeah, cheers.
All the dads. Yeah.
So, I think we've got plenty more questions, and we're going to leave them for another episode. But we're also going
Oh,
to
there's heaps more.
delve
There's
on
so
some
much
other
to
people's.
know about us, motherfuckers.
We're deep.
There's
With
so
some
much out
interesting people.
So, Reese,
Yeah, look. Oh, man, this has been a fun episode.
Man, this has been one of my faves, I reckon, so
Yeah,
far.
I reckon so too.
This is not even an episode to me. This was a nice night. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
We went deep. We went places we probably shouldn't have
we
went.
went fucking.
Oh, man.
That was all you,
No.
man.
Oh
I
fuck!
didn't want to do it, but I had to. It was ripped
To be
down.
fair,
That's what
we
she
kind of
said,
made
but-
you.
Everyone needs that burden. Everyone needs to know that
Vinno finally
limitation.
got a good "that's what she said" in. I love that.
Oh yeah. There's too many of them. But I knew it was going to be hard when Vinno couldn't decide between like a chicken and cheese chip. I was like, man, he's not ready for my fucking question.
Come on, fucking surely you know that I'm not just going to choose a chicken and
Vinno
cheese.
wasn't
Like,
ready for anything that he couldn't change.
he's like, nah. If you're not killing,
there's so many choices. There's so many flavors. Yeah,
No,
and
there's
if we
literally
can't,
only two choices in the
no,
question.
there is more than two
Two
choices. Right?
scenarios in the question that were unchangeable, but still, Vinno
Look.
wanted to change them.
I did because there is more than just what's presented to you. Always in
Not
anything, and
There's
if not,
one
you can get the fuck
through
out.
bullying. Yeah. Look, the bully and the bouncer. Get out.
Get out.
Look.
No, I don't think I will.
Many a child that was told to get out.
There is
Oh,
there is
man.
plenty of opportunities. There is plenty of positions in life where yes, you only have two choices. But in this circumstance, there has been multiple choices and multiple scenarios. And this is the beauty of diversity, isn't it? That there is multiple angles to look at things.
Yeah. Our worldviews. I don't know.
Reezy.
And I'm gonna send you a photo
Hillary's.
of the angle that I'm looking at.
Mm.
Oh no, I'm going with the house dog.
Anyway, since Reezy can't do his job for the night,
No, I will.
No. I'm going to react to this photo, Reese said. Oh, we got to have
It's
that.
still
as
my
a-
background. It's still my background.
I don't even need to fucking look at it.
For the people that can't see, obviously, it's just Vinno with a fro. It's fucking
It's-
hilarious.
It is
Get fucked.
Reese's.
Anyway,
He's been
Spirit-
watching me the
spirit
whole
picture.
time. You know what I mean?
Watching
All
over
right.
you.
Yeah, always.
Mate,
Look, we'll wrap it up. It's been super fun episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We'll be back again next week.
we've got a big topic
But,
next week. So
we do actually, yeah, we do. We got a guest next week. It's going to be awesome. I'm excited. So keep your ears peeled. We might tease a little
Peel them
bit
ears.
on the way in, but a bit more of a serious one. But it should be fun anyway. But yeah, I hope you've potentially learned a little something about your friendly firesiders over here. If there's anything that
Bells.
yeah, you guys want to know about us, feel free to hit us up, and you know we'd love to do this again and answer your questions too. So until next week, everybody, cheers. Thanks for coming on. See you in the next one.